Hello, everybody. Welcome to Conspiracy or Not. Here we come, number 27. Today is February 17th, 2017, and I'm joined again by my great host, Aaron, and our lovely co-host, Amy. How are you guys doing?
I'm hanging in here. How about you?
Oh, I'm good. Good.
I'm good. How have you guys been? Everybody good?
Yep.
You guys
are good. Friday. Week's over. Got a weekend off.
It's been a busy week. It's been a really busy week. There's a lot of stuff going on around the world, on YouTube, in the news, and I don't even know where to begin. I've got so many notes, and they're really all over the place. So I've got several articles that I want to bring up, and just a lot of stuff to talk about. And we can pretty much just pick and choose what we want to focus on. But I really would like to try to get through all of this, at least on a surface level, if you know what I mean, at least to put it out there. There are some articles I want to read. There's some one or two clips that I want to play, and plenty to talk about. There's a lot going on. What have you guys?
Before we started, I just wanted to say thanks to all the subs. Our view counts have grown dramatically over the last couple of months, just after the New Year's. So
yeah, no doubt.
Thank everybody out there for joining us every week. You guys share the videos. You know, when you see it on YouTube yourself, just share it so that your communities, your friends and stuff will see it as well. Aaron was telling me the other day that he had a friend the guy we had on our show there, Joe, was it? Yeah, Joe. He was apparently playing this at work, and all of his work buddies were listening to it while they're working. So that's good stuff. I like to hear that kind of stuff. So thanks to everybody again.
Yeah, no kidding. Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
And thanks to all of my new subs. I mean, you guys, I'm actually a little bit shocked. My channel has grown in the last month by literally by 2/3, or I would say almost 40 to 60%. I have gained, God, I've gained like 200 subs in the last month. Pretty amazing. I went from below 400 to, I'm 2 subs away from 600. So, our numbers are up. Our view count is up. My subs are up. So thanks everybody for that. Thanks for your contributions. Thank you. What's his name? Keith Josh, that young guy that came and joined us last week. Yeah, really appreciate all the contributions. Really appreciate the contributions from everybody. So thanks for that. And thank you everyone for watching and listening and contributing. Thanks everybody. So there.
And if you want to just mention what we're doing Sunday, Aaron, so people can tune in for that as well.
Yeah.
Once we upload it.
Our mutual friend Conchi, we call him Conchi. His channel name is The Conscientious Objector. He's the British guy that we've chatted with before. Basically, we're going to be featuring Zachary Hubbard this coming Sunday in 2 days, and we're going to have Conchi on there. And what happened was, look, there's a lot that could be said, and I really don't want to. I don't want to say the wrong thing or say too much right now, but there's a lot that could be said about gematria. Everybody that knows Zachary Hubbard knows what he's about, and I think there's some merit to it. I really don't personally understand exactly what that's all about, and we're going to give Zach Hubbard a chance to tell us exactly, in his own words, the merits of gematria versus numerology. And you know, some people put a lot of stock in it, some people don't. Our friend, conscientious objector, his name is Dom. He made a video recently, and he had some not so nice things to say about Zach. But we're all adults, we're all intelligent, and what we're going to do Sunday is we're going to have a very intelligent set of discourse between all of us, and Zach is going to explain his position, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to discuss the merits of gematria on Sunday with Zachary Hubbard.
I just want to try to not hope there's not name calling and more or less breaking through the bullshit and getting to the root of, you know, things. You know.
I think we will all prove ourselves to be adults.
No, that's exactly. No, I have no doubt that this is going to be a really interesting conversation. I think it has a lot of potential, and everybody involved is an adult, and they're, you know, nobody here is, you know, nobody's an asshole. So basically, it's going to be a respectful conversation, and it's going to be good discourse. So look, that's what we're about, right? We're about bringing people together. This is not about, we're not here to call people shills and call people names. This is not about any disrespect. This is about getting to a position of understanding and sharing information, sharing ideas, and bringing people together. So that's what we're going to do Sunday with Zach Hubbard, and I think it's going to be really good.
So lots in the news, eh, guys?
Oh my God!
Political news going on. The whole what's his name? Sergeant Flynn.
Oh, Michael Flynn. Yeah, it's General Michael Flynn.
General Michael Flynn. Yeah.
Right.
So apparently, that's this guy's job. He wasn't even in. He was a citizen. He was a normal citizen at the time, right? He wasn't in the political party, right? And he was talking with the ambassador, Russian ambassador, about sanctions and so on, right? So of course, the leftist Democratic media, you know, never let a good thing go to waste. So they completely spun it to sound like it was recently, right, to begin with. So he was just, even if he did send them, like even if he was working for Trump at that administration itself, he would, that's still his job to go and speak to these people. So it's really nothing nefarious, you know.
Yeah, you got all these people running around screaming.
I don't want to cause such a political outrage of him doing it, because he knew that the left would run with this and make it sound worse than it did. So I think he just lied to
here's the interesting thing, Ian. Right now you've got a lot of people running around screaming about the Logan Act, which is supposed to prevent you know, non-official government people from engaging in that kind of, you know, political conversation with diplomats and ambassadors. The fact is that nobody has ever, in fact, this is this is pretty much a standard practice for an incoming president and his incoming cabinet to start getting familiar and start making contact.
Like I said, the leftist media run with it, make it sound all.
Nobody has ever. This is standard procedure. This is, first of all, it's done all the time. Nobody has ever been prosecuted for this. Okay, so. And no law has actually been broken. I mean, it's not unusual to expect an incoming president or his cabinet to start making contact and getting familiar with, you know, foreign people, diplomats and ambassadors. It's not beyond the realm of expectation. I mean, it's exactly what you would want to do. You'd start making contact right away. No big deal. Well, here's the thing. This is all surface stuff. All this rhetoric about the Logan Act, and he was a citizen, and he shouldn't have made the phone call, and then, you know, his letter of resignation included, said something about that he inadvertently misinformed Mike Pence and President Trump, right? He inadvertently withheld He just didn't disclose the entire conversation or something like that. And we can even, it's online. We can go and read his resignation letter. It says exactly that. And so,
I watched.
Look, hang on. That's not actually the issue. This is kind of the point I'm trying to make. This is all surface stuff, because lurking below the surface is something a lot more nefarious.
Yeah, a deep state.
And it involves,
I agree.
It involves Pizzagate.
Yeah, it's a deep state.
Oh yes.
And
oh yes.
so I watched that Trump press conference last night.
Yeah.
And he was saying that, no one wants to talk about the fact that this stuff is just being leaked right out to the media, right? Like it's just being secret classified stuff that's just being thrown around, right? And he's got a good point. So this leads you to the underlying thing is like, there is any information, right? How secure is it? And
right.
Well,
can it be used against you, right? That's the question that brings to my mind. If they could use it against him as a political assassination, then they can pretty much do this to anybody, because we're all being recorded and tracked and traced and whatnot, right? So it brings that a real scary feeling to me, that it's so easy for people to get ruined.
Well,
through an illegal spy state.
We could just not consent to their stuff. I don't know.
Well, you wouldn't be able to consent or not. I mean, they're going to do it no matter what. They lied in front of Congress and said that no, we're not recording. So soon after that, it was a complete lie. The guy committed perjury on stand.
Yes.
They'll never tell you whether or not they are. The only reason they had to tell you is because of A, Snowden leaks, and for B, just they couldn't get away with it for too long.
Right.
Well, let's not forget that there's no such thing as a phone call that takes place without being recorded. That's right, and it's really easy for these people to get their hands on it and use it against you, right? So there's like this. It's like there's these people within the NSA, national security, and blah blah blah, who are actually anti-Trump to begin with. So they're using their platform to ruin his cabinet and slow things down. And let's not forget that practically everything that we hear from the government and from the media is either 100% bullshit, or at the very least, it's a surface wash, and there's something lurking below that surface.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, there's an ulterior.
Yes.
Yeah, so,
or it's a truth that's been horrifically spun off.
Or a Trojan horse, right? What I don't use as a Trojan horse. What I don't want to do is spend a whole lot of time discussing the rhetoric of what we know to be surface bullshit. Right, because we all know it's a false paradigm anyways, the left and right. Right. My goal is to go as deep. Hey, new being. Hey, Bella. And Silver Pill joined us. Unfortunately, he said he had to run off right away. He said he just tuned in and he had to go. So hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us. What, Ian? Time will that Oh yeah. That's right. Sunday we have Zachary Hubbard joining us, and I just wanted to let everybody know that that's going to take place at 12 o'clock noon Eastern time. Hey, Bobby Simpson. And by the way, if you're listening to the show and you have the ability, in other words, if you have a Google Plus or a YouTube and you're tuned in, just say hello so we know you're here. We can say hi and thank you for being here and all that. So just let us know if you're watching. Anyway, Sunday is going to be Zachary Hubbard, and I want to let everybody know that's going to take place live on my channel at 12 o'clock noon Eastern Standard Time. And so tune in for that. It's going to be good stuff.
9 o'clock Pacific, 9 a.m. Pacific.
I'll be having my second coffee by that time. Yeah, it's going to be 9 o'clock Pacific time. And the reason we're doing it at that time is because our pal, Dominic from the UK, is actually 9 hours separated from the Pacific coast. So it's going to be 6 o'clock p.m. for him, and it'll be 12 o'clock for me in Atlanta. So that's when we're doing it, 12 o'clock Atlanta time.
And Long Island time too.
Right. So it'll be like our Ole Demigard interview, because Ole was in Spain, and same thing. Ian's going to be 9 a.m. Zach is going to be 9 a.m. and Dominic will be 6 o'clock p.m. So that's why we're doing it that way.
Good, good. So what's first on the agenda, Aaron?
Okay, what I want to do is I want to briefly run through sort of a headline or a cliff note version of all these notes. I've got 2.5 pages of notes that I want to run through here, and then I want to pull up some articles, do a little bit of reading, and at some point I've got a couple of excerpts that I want to either show or play from some videos that have come to my attention. First, and this is probably least of all, actually, I mean, none of these necessarily are least of all. There's really no order. There's no rhyme or reason to how I'm going to present this, so I'm just going to do it. Here it goes. Ashton Kutcher. Okay, I don't know if you've heard this. Ashton Kutcher was contacted, or his company was contacted, by the Department of Homeland Security for his help, or his company's help, because he has a foundation or a company or something that has to do with exposing or helping abused children. So the Department of Homeland Security apparently has contacted Ashton Kutcher for his help on a child abuse case. And this is a case that they have watched on the deep web for 3 years. Okay. They've been watching this child abuse case for 3 stinking years, and they can't figure out how to catch this person or where they are or whatever. And okay, that's just sort of a mind blower by itself. Well, first of all, why is the Homeland Security even interested? It shouldn't even be their job. Okay, the Department of Homeland Security is supposed to protect the homeland, not scour the internet for abused children. As bad as that is, and as much as I would like to see that come to an end, this is not their job. Okay. Second, I'm just going to run through this because I have a lot to get through here. I also want to bring up, and this will be a good topic for conversation at some point here. I want to bring to your attention, and you guys already know this, the CIA, Project Mockingbird, trillions of dollars. They have an unlimited budget. We know that they have employed many thousands of journalists. They've put people in high places in positions of mainstream media. Hey, Jordan Rains. And one of the interesting topic of conversation is the validity of all the articles that we're going to be discussing. The main question is, how the hell do we know that any of these articles have any basis in reality, when in fact such a large percentage of all articles are in fact CIA created? Okay.
Right.
Oh, sorry. Very fake news.
Another big thing happening in the news is Kim Jong-un's brother was assassinated. Okay? And apparently they have arrested 2 people as far as I know. One of them is a woman. They've got a CCTV snapshot of her at the airport. He was supposedly poisoned at the airport. And one of the things I found really interesting was this image that they show of this woman that they're blaming. She's wearing a T-shirt that says LOL. Okay, so we all know how these guys like to mock us and laugh at us when they pull off these false flags and bullshit stories, and they create patsies with funny names that that basically mock us, right? So we got this girl wearing a shirt saying LOL. So there's that. All right. Also in the news, we have the TSA.
Yeah.
12 TSA agents were just indicted for smuggling. Now get this, $100 million in cocaine, which totals
100 million,
which is totaling 20 tons.
20 tons? Oh no.
Yeah. Okay. Now we can come back to that one too. Also in the news, we have an article from the Washington Post. Now you remember we had Joseph Farrell on a couple of weeks ago, and in that conversation, I brought up Antarctica, and that there's been some really interesting people that have made their way down to Antarctica.
Yeah.
Now, we can count among those people now. We can now count. Get this, Newt fucking Gingrich.
Now, somebody mentioned in the comment thread on that video that Newt Gingrich has 2 clone wives down there.
Wow.
Which was kind of weird.
What?
Yeah, somebody had mentioned in that comment thread on that video, Joseph Farrell the other day, or yesterday, I think it was, that Newt Gingrich has 2 cloned wives down there and stuff. But that's
okay.
The rails.
Well, maybe that's why he went there. He was giving an interview for the Washington Post, and we know, I think that's Jeff Bezos who owns Washington Post.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, honey, we can
Okay,
hear you.
because I'm having computer problems, and I just wanted to make sure that.
Yeah, you're loud and clear.
Okay. Good.
Okay,
You're having computer operator problems?
Yeah, I think.
Okay, so
I may have to restart and come back.
So Newt Gingrich mentioned in passing in this Washington Post interview that he was making a trip to Antarctica. Okay. Also, we have Lady Gaga, MIA, which is like a rap group.
Okay.
Pamela Anderson have all recently visited Julian Assange.
Really? Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And
Pamela Anderson had an interview with him.
In fact, they've even made a movie about Julian Assange, and I would put forward, in fact, I don't know if you're a fan of the YouTube channel Texas Shrugged, but he put out a video recently suggesting that WikiLeaks is, at least at this point, that they are, if not completely, bogus, that at the very least, at this point, that they've been completely compromised. So, Texas Shrugged.
Jim Fetzer swears up and down that it's the whole 100% truth, but things have changed, and things are really seeming quite suspicious with WikiLeaks now, right? It seems like you said, they've been totally compromised.
Okay. Also, and again, I'm just running through this quickly, and we can come back to any one of these and elaborate later on in a minute. I just want to run through all of these so everybody knows what we're about here, what's on the table. This comes from Grindle61 channel. The Mexico presidential candidate is campaigning in America. Yeah. And if that's not enough by itself to piss you off, then we'll get into the detail. We'll get into the details of that one a little bit later on. Also, okay. Also, and this is from Richie Allen. The Joseph Rowntree Foundation study shows that millions more people in Britain struggle to make ends meet. This study that they have put out is predicting that the condition will worsen drastically over the next few years as inflation spikes. Okay, and what they're saying is that 30% of the population, now this is Britain, okay, 30% of Britain's population, which totals about 19 million people, that's the 30%, are living below the minimum income standard. Now, that's up 4 million in the last 6 years, and 11 million of those people are below 75% of the minimum income standard in Britain.
Below what? Say it again.
11 million people in Britain are living below what they call the minimum income standard. In other words, poverty. The poverty level.
I'm not surprised.
Okay,
this
well,
whole
Britain
planet is struggling like that.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, no doubt. However, that's basically 30% of Britain's population. Okay,
right.
So that's staggering. And this Joseph Rowntree Foundation study is suggesting that not only is inflation scheduled to see a spike in the next few years, but you can expect that those numbers of people on below that standard to rise as well. Okay, also on the table here, I have Warren Buffett has just divested Walmart, and is basically this move by Warren Buffett is, according to the report here, is signaling the death of retail as we know it, and he is now investing himself into Apple Airlines stock. Okay, now before I get too far, I've got a few more. You know what? I'll tell you what. I'll come back to this. Let me just run through the couple more here, and then I have a question for Ian directly. Since you live in Canada, I've got a question directly for you. I've got an article by Source of Fall that I want to bring up, that Trump rushes a CIA medal to a Saudi prince who exposed the U.S. State Department Islamic spy ring. What? I've got something from Cindy K. Courier. She's been putting out what she calls dragnet briefs, and her last couple of videos is dragnet brief 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I guess I know there's 4 at least. Regarding this Michael Flynn dismissal, that there's a shadow moved to fight the Bush-Clinton cartel, okay? And also I've got something a little bit disturbing. In fact, it's a lot fucking disturbing. This Dragnet Brief number 4 by Cindy K. Courier, and that's, by the way, that's YouTube channel Rise Together if you don't know. There's been a voice analysis done of a woman, a young girl being horribly abused, like tortured. And it's like something off of the deep dark web. And the guy doing the torturing, you can hear his voice very clearly, and he's screaming at her, and he's saying, "Who's your daddy? Who am I? Say it again," and stuff like that. And
creepy.
Turns out that this voice analysis of all people has turned up our one and only just left my head. Podesta, not
John Podesta.
John, not his brother Tony. Yeah, it's John. It's John Podesta. The voice analysis shows that this is almost identical, if not identical, to John Podesta's voice. Also,
why does this not surprise me?
Also, right along that line, you know that we've already covered the Pizzagate to some extent, and. Yeah. Now, even though that we have not ourselves been able to verify the FBI that page on their own website with the symbols, right, the pedophile symbols, it seems that I have not yet found anybody who has disputed that information. So there's literally no one that I'm aware of that is saying, "Wait a minute, this is bullshit." So on that, assuming that that is true, okay, I haven't confirmed it personally, but I'm going to go with this. Assuming that those symbols, you know, that little triangle inside of a triangle inside of a triangle thing, one of those symbols, that one in particular, is actually on the LA County Sheriff's badge. Okay? Really? Also, I told you I've got a lot on the plate here, and I'm not done.
Oh, wow.
Also, Zero Hedge has an article on Michael Flynn that I'm going to want to probably bring up and read to you a little bit. And I may want to play an SGT report on the Pizzagate and Hostel, the movie Hostel 2. In fact, I am going to play at least a 4-minute excerpt from that interview. Also, I have, let's see. Now, I guess I had this jotted down, and there was something else that was supposed to be associated with this. Madonna, this is not new news. This is old news. At the women's rally, at the Trump inauguration, Madonna on stage is saying things like, "I've thought a lot about blowing up the White House." Okay.
Yeah.
And now there was something in.
No one else is.
Yeah, and there are over 10,000 plus tweets on Twitter calling for the assassination of Donald Trump. Okay, so that's all right. Also, I've got an article that I may want to cover. about this sabotage. Obama is supposedly commanding an army of something like 30,000 anti-Trump activists from his home just 2 miles from the White House.
Yep. I don't know if this is true, though. It's hard to
Yeah,
I know.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
It's hard to verify.
Also, we have the World Mercury Project. This is an article from February 15th. Robert De Niro and RFK Jr. Now, this was the other day. This was 2 days ago this was supposed to happen, and I haven't followed up on this yet. De Niro and RFK Jr. were supposed to, they were having a press conference or something, and this is like 3 or 4 days ago when I found this. Supposedly, they're offering a reward for missing research. Okay. Now, what's interesting is within hours, literally within hours of this going public. Now, this is before they had their conference. This is just them announcing that they're going to have a conference. Within hours, there were articles that were appearing that autism, and in fact, I saw this. I also saw this on mainstream news just like yesterday or 2 days ago. It's like right after. Articles were appearing that autism, apparently scientists are claiming now that they have found a biomarker, and they are something like 80% sure that they can detect which child is going to be within 80% accuracy, which child may have autism. Okay? So this is them covering their tracks because the
I was just going to say,
Yeah, I was saying that too.
No.
Sounds like a smoke screen to me.
That's nothing but damage control right there.
Smoke screen. Yeah.
Okay. Also, and I'm not done here. I got 2 more to go, and then I got a question for you, Ian. Also, we have, not only do we have our own U.S. troops that are literally 40 miles from the Russian border over in areas like Crimea and some of those Eastern European countries. And we discussed a little.
Now.
We discussed a little bit of this with Joseph Farrell, that we have literally our troops and Norwegian troops and NATO troops are 40 miles from the Russian. Besides that, we have this Russian spy ship that was first it was 70 miles, then it was 40 miles, and now it's supposedly 30 miles off of the coast of Delaware. Okay,
right.
And nobody seems to be worried about that one. Okay.
Well, Trump actually mentioned that in his press conference. He says, well, I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do. He says it concerns us all, but I'm not going to sit here and tell you what we're going to do, because then they can just counter whatever I'm telling you what we're going to do, right?
Hey, Bobby Simpson, I'm seeing in the chat box that you have message retracted. I'm only guessing that you might be trying to drop links, and if you are, the public chat box does not allow people to drop links. So if you have links for us, I might very well. And then, yeah, you might have to do something to space it out, and then anybody that wants to use the link can, eliminate the spaces. But the public chat box is not going to let you drop links. So
just make it so it doesn't appear as a link, a piece of it or whatever.
And by the way,
mention all this stuff too, and it's like, what happened in Somalia and all these other places where we said, oh, in 4 months they're going to go in and raid, and then 3 months, and then 2 months, and then 2 weeks we're going to go in. So it gives the enemy lots of time to regroup and come to a counter, right?
Yeah, in a way.
That's actually a pretty good point.
That's a very interesting subject that I would like to discuss with you guys, because what you just brought up has implications on both sides of the fence that's worthy of note. But I got one more thing to bring up here. The Melbourne car attack that we're all familiar with by now, I think. It was actually just outside St. Paul's Cathedral. Now, what does that remind you of?
That reminds me of a certain Santa Paul running around the Fort Lauderdale Airport.
That's right. Now, do you guys remember? Do you guys remember when we chatted with Oli Demigard that we not only talked about Santa Paul, But there was another connection, and it's left my mind, and I haven't had time to look it up.
It was at the truck thing in Munich, was it, or Berlin?
Berlin.
At the market, the
Berlin?
Christmas market.
Right. That was Berlin.
Santa Paul, somewhere in there, he was mentioning.
No, Santa Paul was Fort Lauderdale shooting. That was
But there was like a Santa. There was a guy with a Santa.
No, Ian. Listen. The connection I'm trying to make here is St. Paul, Minnesota. Okay, because we spoke with Ole Demigard, and we not only did we mention Santa Paul at the Fort Lauderdale shooting, but there was another connection, and I can't remember the other connection because it was me that mentioned it. I was like, wait a minute, we got Santa Paul, and we have this other thing that I think it was the guy's name. It was Paul Santiago or something.
Oh yeah, okay.
Right.
But there was this other weird connection that between Santa Paul and this other connection that made me, a bell went off in my head, and I said to Ole Demigard, I said, wait a minute, would that indicate maybe in your mind that they're foreshadowing a false flag in St. Paul, Minnesota, right? So now apparently we've discovered that the Melbourne car attack was actually just outside of the St. Paul Cathedral in Melbourne. Right. Okay.
Sounds like Jesuits to me.
It sounds like more foreshadowing, and it sounds like something may be on the table for St. Paul, Minnesota. So everybody keep your eyes out for that one.
Well, we also discussed the possibility of St. Paul's Cathedral in London, I think it was.
Right, we were just discussing that too.
We thought it, yes, we were discussing that as well. I mean, St. Paul something, yeah.
Right.
Okay. All right. So now, Ian, I've got a question for you, and I found this in a comment thread, and I forget where exactly, but somebody was saying in a comment thread that they're Canadian, and that Canada is set to pass a law that would criminalize anti-Muslim speech. Oh, it was Grindle. It was Grindle 661. It was a comment thread under one of Grindel's videos.
Well, it was put forward. I don't think it's got any traction. I haven't heard anything about it.
Somebody in the comment thread was saying, look, after tomorrow or after next week, I won't be able to say anything about Muslims, or they'll be able to put me in jail.
Right.
So what the hell, Ian? You're in Canada. What's going on with this? What do you know about that?
Well, I know that they tried to push that forward. They actually were banning, what are they called, burqas?
The burqa?
Yeah, they wanted to ban people wearing them in public if they're not showing their face.
Right.
Which is pretty harsh, you know. But yeah, I heard about it. They put that forward. I don't think that's gotten any traction though, because I haven't heard anything about that since last year. I know that the Jewish Defense League up here want that. They want to, you know, criminalize anybody who is an anti-Semite, you know, quote unquote. Right?
Oh dear.
But Bobby Simpson in the chat box here has said that there was a good video he saw the other day on Justin Trudeau being very pro-Islamic.
Not sure, but he's Jesuit trained. I know that for sure.
All I can say is that if
his dad was a total criminal, put us under debt slavery.
If he's pro-Muslim, I'm going to say that's part of the script to start. I mean, I think they want Canada and the U.S. to be fighting, and Mexico and the U.S. to be fighting. You know, I mean, everything they're doing is going in that direction.
Yeah, well, they want to create a Hegelian dialectic, right? They want it to be problem, reaction, solution, right? So if you're getting countries bickering and fighting over things so much, you're going to just say, fine, let's just all work together as one. And then they're going to bring in their North American Union, which they want anyways, right? They want, what, 10 regions of the world, right? They want the North American region, the South American, the European, Middle East, 10 in total, right?
They want Eurasia.
That's their New World Order blueprint.
They want Eurasia, East Asia, and Oceania.
That's right. You know, they wanted
Yeah.
all 10 countries, right? So that goes back. That is actually kind of biblical, right? Because the 10 you know, there's 10 crowns of the 10 regions, right? But that could account just for the Vatican, just for Rome itself. But
oh, holy crap! So Jordan Reigns just
North American Union, and it is in place. It's hidden in the shadows of the shadow government, right?
Yep.
Where it's all one thing. You know, we're all one region, right? Considered as, and I remember hearing a long time ago when I first woke up about the Amero that they wanted to bring in.
Yep.
Or the dollar bill, right? Well, I haven't heard anything about that in years.
well, the Amero is dead.
Yeah, so it could have been just all.
I think they're going to leap forward to what they really want, Ian, is a cashless
society. Yeah, and there's actually lots of talk about that in the news as well lately.
Yeah.
Yep.
Now, what's interesting about the cashless society, and what we need to do, by the way, is not get too sidetracked. I want to come back and discuss some of the points that I brought up in the first 30 minutes, and literally it took me almost 30 minutes to get through all this. And I've got some articles that I want to read.
I haven't heard anything more about that. It was brought
Hey, P. Marie, how you doing? All right. I would also look. Hang on, before we get too far. Jordan Reigns said that twin lady that fell to her death at the New York Oculus was fake as shit. Now I've heard about that. I haven't had any chance to look into that. Amy, you agree? Have you looked into that? That was fake.
A little bit. Mainly, I watched what Zach's breakdown of the gematria of it, and none of it made sense to me.
Well,
so.
Our friend New Being in the chat immediately said to Jordan, and their name was Santos.
Now, somebody's brought up
exactly.
New Being here in the chat. He's brought up a good connection to what Jordan was just saying as well. He says, remember the twin explosion at the end when Oli was on? Many twins in the media now, right?
Yeah.
So Jordan just mentioned the twin lady that fell to her death, right?
And we got P. Marie with us. Hi, P. Marie.
So there's an interesting connection there. So there's a bunch of twins in the news, eh?
So Bobby Simpson left the link in the chat, and he says just add the www.
Right.
Now, I would also like to ask Bobby, it looks like there's a bunch of underscores. Are they all supposed to be there, or did you put those there? Do they need to be removed if anybody wants to use that link? Okay.
Hey, Bobby, are you in Canada?
And by the way, I would also like to extend an invitation to not only Jordan Reigns, but Bobby Simpson as well. If you guys would like to come in the panel and speak with us directly, let us know. Say so in the chat, and we'll hop over to your channel, and we will give you the link in your private messages. Oh, Beyonce, Madonna, and Clooney are expecting twins. Ah, thanks, New Being. No kidding. I heard about Clooney.
Right. Beyonce's having twins. Yeah.
That's right. I did hear about that one.
Together. There's a big connection here.
There's a big twin
connection somewhere. Yeah.
Wow.
Very insightful, guys. Thanks in the chat.
Santos. I know. I love this. I love having all these people, contribute to what we're talking about. That's exactly why we're doing what we're doing, is to literally bring people together and share all this information. There's only so much time in the day, and most of us have jobs, and we're not all professional researchers. So that's what we're doing, is crowdsourcing.
So you
Bobby
guys
Simpson is a
go down there just this week too to see Trump's first meeting with him. I didn't hear anything. I didn't hear what was discussed or anything, but
I don't know.
Trump is a Gemini?
Interesting.
Huh.
Okay, so
anyway, where were we going?
I don't know, but I'm going to start. I'm going to pull up.
Go to the first article you're talking about. We'll just work through them again.
Yeah, let me give me a second.
To put in their 2 cents.
I'm going to see if I can pull up this article by source of file, and we'll get through that one first here. Let's see.
I think I'm going to have to restart my computer because I can't click on any program or anything on the screen. I can't see anything. You know, it's crazy. It's wacky. So I may be dropping out here, and I'll be back in.
Okay, hon, you do what you got to do.
All right. So what was the first article you were talking about when you started?
I just found it. Give me a second. I'm going to screen share so you can see what I'm reading here. All right, so this is from the website whatdoesitmean.com. Let's see. Trump rushes CIA medal to Saudi prince who exposed the U.S. State Department Islamic spy ring. A fascinating but very brief Foreign Intelligence Service report circulating in the Kremlin today states that Central Intelligence Agency Director Mike Pompeo was rushed to Saudi Arabia over this past weekend on the orders of President Donald Trump to personally present to Crown Prince Mohammed bin Nayef the first of its kind George Tenet Award for this deputy premier's aiding the CIA in the uncovering of a massive radical Islamic spy ring in the U.S. State Department. So, according to this report, this unique George Tenet Award gifted to this Saudi prince by the CIA on behalf of the United States is named after former CIA Director George Tenet, who served under both the President Bill Clinton and George W. Bush administrations, and most notably during the September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks in the United States.
He worked under both traitors and was involved in 9/11. Isn't that lovely?
Okay. All right. The first thing I'm thinking of when I read this, my bullshit meter is pegged all the way to the left. Okay?
Oh, for sure. I mean, we can't believe this.
The first thing I think of is Barack Obama winning the Nobel Peace Prize.
Peace Prize, yeah, exactly. How much of a farce it all really is.
Right. This is nothing but a bunch of criminals patting each other on the back.
Yeah, it's got to be you know, they've always worked together with Saudis, right? Because it's in their benefit, right?
So let me just get this straight, and I'm going to ask a rhetorical question. What religion, by large, is Saudi Arabia?
What was your question?
What religion?
Well, it's Wahhabism. There's Islamic. There's a bunch of different.
I mean,
mostly Muslim, I would say.
Well, Muslim, that's not a religion. Islam is the religion.
Islamic, yeah, but there's Wahhabism is very.
So, here's what doesn't make sense right off the bat. First and foremost, that the Saudi prince is telling our government that there's a massive radical Islamic spy ring in the U.S. State Department. Like, he knows and we don't.
Yeah.
First of all, how does he know? Second of all, he's Islamic, right?
Yeah. Well, I've actually heard that he's actually a crypto Jew. I've never looked up myself, but people have.
Nevertheless, crypto Jew means he's supposed to pretend to be Islamic.
Right.
So if he's supposed to be Islamic, why is he exposing an Islamic spy ring? How does that make sense?
Because it's the Jews against the Islam, right?
But what we have is the Saudi.
Scripted.
It is scripted. This is bullshit. This is nothing but criminals patting other criminals on the back.
Yes.
Probably.
Handing each other
Probably a bribe.
awards and kissing each other's rings. You know, it's
Well, they're probably Saudi's probably gonna expose 9/11 for the real perpetrators, right? Kiss and bend over to these people so they don't get exposed.
So check this out. The uncovering of this massive radical Islamic spy ring within the U.S. State Department. This report continues, allowed Secretary of State Rex Tillerson to, quote, clean house of these Society of Muslim Brothers, Muslim Brotherhood, subversives that the previous President Obama administration had literally flooded the U.S. government with.
Right.
And here are images and names. Muslim Brotherhood infiltrates Obama administration. Like, let's be honest for a second. Let's just be real. There's no freaking way that they didn't know.
Yeah, really?
I mean,
come on now.
you gotta be
Okay, this is just freaking absurd on its face.
Happen by chance like this. I mean,
Of the most critical of information revealed by the Crown Prince Mohammed bin Nayef to the CIA about this massive radical Islamic spy ring, buzzword. This report notes were secretly obtained or made telephonic recordings between the longtime neocon warmonger American diplomat Elliot Abrams, who served in both the President Ronald Reagan and President Bush administrations, and chairman of the Senate of Pakistan, Ghaffur Haydari, and whose Taliban forces have long supported the Muslim Brotherhood. You know, this, again, I don't even need to go any further. Do you guys just see how much freaking nonsense this is?
Oh, yeah.
yeah, exactly. What web page is this from again? What is this?
This is from the website called
What does it mean?
what does it mean.com.
So how legit is this? Does this throw propaganda all the time or what?
Well, I have no idea, but judging from the symbolism on their artwork here, I mean, what do we got? An Illuminati card with the tower being broken. We've got Noah's Ark. We've got is that we got 322 right next to the dragon. We got Mother. Is that Mary or you know what I mean? Is that a freaking Pegasus over there on the left and the cross? Yeah. I mean, the circle and the cross with a bed of roses. You know, the Rosicrucians. We've got the sun symbol, the Freemason symbol. So,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know anything about this website, so I'll go and have a look at it.
Yeah, I haven't. I think I've landed on that website a couple of times through the years, but I really don't give you any details about what they're all about.
Regardless of the website, this article is freaking garbage. And and here's a photo, all right, okay, of Mike Pompeo, who was rushed to Saudi Arabia. Like, hurry, rush over there, hurry up. We can't wait. Go give him this award. It has to happen now. This could be something for Zach Hubbard, because if he had to rush over there, what's the rush? Oh, I know. Zach would know, I bet. It had to happen on a specific day.
Right. It had to have a specific numerology.
Looking at it in the two-dimensional, it could be just like they want to present the Saudis as good people to the American people.
Well, that's all.
To keep relationships. Fine. With all the 28 pages of, implicating Saudi Arabia, at a two-dimensional level, right?
Yeah, no kidding.
That it's a PR.
Yeah, well, this article says on the very first line, it says that this Mike Pompeo was rushed to Saudi Arabia. What's the freaking rush?
Probably a bribe. Who knows?
Could be.
Okay. Enough of that. Moving on. We're getting close to our first hour. Did you guys want to take a couple minutes here?
Well, me.
Do you guys want to move forward? Amy, did you have to restart and come back? I didn't even.
Yes, I did. I restarted the machine, and now I'm back, and it's working much better.
Now, isn't Saudi Arabia where the petrodollar was basically born?
Hey, thank you, Bobby Simpson. I just noticed
Sure.
Ian, repeat that question in 2 seconds. I just want to say thanks to Bobby Simpson. He said one more thing. If you guys are looking for top-notch research, check out Richard Kalberg's work at the Narrow Gate Web. So .com. So interesting. Thanks for that. All right, go ahead, Ian. What was your question? What?
Now, wasn't the petrodollar born in Saudi Arabia, so to speak,
Yes.
through the deals of Jimmy Carter in the late 79 or early 80s?
Isn't that what OPEC was set up for?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wasn't Saudi Arabia basically? Well, I think there was a bunch of countries, right, that signed on to this.
That's OPEC, the oil-producing countries.
Yeah,
Yes.
right. Yeah. Okay. The war in there, really.
I think so. I think so.
The
Personally,
petrodollar.
I don't know for sure, so I don't want to speak out of school. So possibly.
Well, because they were told, they made an agreement that they would sell crude oil, but they'd have to sell it to America in American notes, Federal
Yes,
Reserve
they
notes.
made it. They made a deal that all oil theoretically had to be dealt with
Pegged.
in American dollars,
pegged to the dollar.
creating the petrodollar.
Right.
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah.
Amy, you're familiar with this guy, Richard Kalberg?
Yeah, I read some of his stuff just yesterday, and I
Oh,
was
really?
very impressed. In fact, he breaks down a lot of the useless leaders' numerology and symbology and stuff like that, and it's very educational and and entertaining too. So yeah, I would also recommend his work.
Okay. I'm not sure. Am I still screen sharing right now?
All right, well, we're coming up on the first hour.
Well,
you guys want to take a short break here, and then we'll come back and start the next article you're talking about?
Yeah, okay.
And that way we don't drag it out over the hour.
Yeah,
I
okay.
think
Well,
I think that's an awesome idea because I'm
All right.
ready for some tobacco,
Amy can run out and get her fix.
and I'll get a head start here. I'm off.
okay.
Yeah, if you want to cue up some of Zach's music there, that'd be good.
Yeah, in that case, it's going to take me just a second because I wasn't ready, so bear with me. And if you had something you wanted to bring up, go right ahead. Just
No, but you notice how now there's not even any talk about these 28 pages, right? I mean, it's come and gone in the wind, right? And Trump said a while ago, like, I don't know, it was about a year ago at least, he said, oh, well, we'll get to the bottom of 9/11, that's for sure, right? You remember he said that? He never said that, they'd open a new investigation or anything, but he said, well, we get to the bottom of who really did it. And
yeah.
which was very telling at the time, but of course now he's sold his soul out to the perpetrators of that. So,
Well, things are moving so fast these days that
I mean, Israel is the one that he works for, right? Pretty much. I mean, AIPAC pretty much is running the show now.
okay, so let's go ahead and take a 2.5-minute break. This is a little bit of music by our friend of the show, Juxtapose. That's JUX space TPOSE, in case anyone cares. In fact, I am screen sharing, Ian. Yes, right now?
Yep.
Okay, well, there's Juxtapose right there in case anybody is interested. He's a friend of the show, and he's a good friend to us, and he's done a lot to contribute to what we're doing, and I'm not sure if he's here right now or listening, but he usually says hello in the chat box. But anyway, here's Sub Duster by Juxtapose, and we'll be back in 2 minutes and 30 seconds.
Welcome back.
And there it is. That's Juxtaposed Subduster. Thanks for that,
Good
Zach.
job.
Awesome, awesome.
I do like what he does on his channel. This guy needs a little bit more subs. He dedicates his entire YouTube channel to creating these audio mixes, and some of them are pretty damn good. So at this point, what I would like to do is freak you out a little bit. Now that everybody's nice and calm with all that awesome music, what I would like to do is, actually, I don't need to screen share at this time. What I would like to do is play you some audio. In fact, no, I will do a screen share. So it's going to take me a second to cue this up. This is, I think it's Rise Together. That's Cindy Kate Courier's channel. There she is. There is a disturbing, very disturbing piece of audio that I want to play for you guys. And hopefully the audio comes through, because my method here is I'm using my speaker, my Bluetooth speaker. And anybody who's been listening to us long enough, you know that for some reason we cannot do a screen share with audio at the same time. So it is what it is. So I have to cue this up not only on my computer but also on my phone so I can play the audio. What I want to do, this Dragnet brief number 4. It is, I think it's this one here. Now, give me just a moment until I find this. I think it's near the end. It is. It is roughly 15 minutes into this video. Some real, I would recommend anybody who's interested in this General Flynn dismissal, go over to the Cindy K. Courier's channel. The channel is called Rise Together. She is exposing some really good stuff over there. Some of the tweets that are put out, there's a link between the Michael Flynn dismissal and Pizzagate, and I want to try to get to the point in a few minutes here, but I want to try to get this audio queued up. Sorry for the delay, but there's just a lot to get to. It's 16 minutes and 40. What you're about to hear is disturbing and may trigger some sensitive viewers. No freaking shit.
Screen up.
Give me just a second here. Here it is. All right. All right.
Long time, and it's been a long night, and it's been a long campaign. But I could say we can wait a little longer, can't we?
Can you guys hear that okay?
Yep.
Okay. Hang on just a second. Now here it is. Now listen and watch and try not to be too disturbed because this is going to freak you out a little bit. This is a girl being tortured, and pay attention to the voice of the guy doing the torturing, and pay attention to Podesta's voice.
Viewer discretion is advised.
Yeah, no doubt.
Just as this whole investigation has been sort of an open source thing, validating certain things has also been put to the public. And that includes what I'm going to share with you now. And I want to encourage you to draw your own conclusions.
Long time, and it's been a long night, and it's been a long campaign. But I could say we can wait a little longer, can't we?
Listen up! What's my name? What's my name? My other name. What do you call me? I am your father. From now on, you will call me your father. Shut up!
Your voices and your enthusiasm
Sounds like the same
means
voice.
so much to her and to Tim and to all of us.
Well, it sounds pretty close.
We are so
Very
proud of you.
close.
And we are so proud of her.
You will call me your father. What is my name, huh?
You got that New York accent, too.
And I think we have been informed by law enforcement sources that they're conducting this investigation as part of the broader investigation that they just taken their time.
Got it. What? Say it. I want to hear it. That's it. Yes, say it again. Say it again. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, I'm your daddy now. I'm your fucking daddy now.
She's done an amazing job, and she is not done yet. So thank you for being with her. She has always been with you. I have to say this tonight. Good night. We will be back. We'll have more to say. Let's get those votes counted, and let's bring this home. Thank you so much for all that you have done. You're in all of our hearts. Thank you.
So we truly are hearing the agonal breathing, the flailing, the deal making, the deal brokering, not the apologies of a dying regime, not admissions. We're getting leaks little by little. And it seems as though, maybe the public can benefit from these leaks. Maybe it's raising awareness even more. And given that, one report I saw said 30% of the DC police were in on this, we have, of course, we had the remarkable report that came out, last week or the week before, about 400 and some people involved in a child sex ring sting in LA were caught. Well, how were those caught? Because, when I look at the pictures of the sheriff badges of LA County, what I see are symbols that were identified by
Here it is. Look at that. Can you see that?
No, which one are we focusing on here?
Look
Just-
at the triangles.
Yeah.
The little
Two
triangle points on the badge. Look inside. You see that Pizzagate pedophile triangle inside of a triangle inside of a triangle symbol?
Yep. I see it, especially on that one that's the lieutenant badge. It's very clear.
Well, if you look at the bottom right, actually, if you look at the top where it says Detective Lifeguard, and then look to not the one below, but the one below it. Basically,
Yes.
the bottom right.
Yep, it has that spiral triangle.
It's the clearest image of all of them.
Yep.
On that one right there.
Yeah, that's the best one you can see it. Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
I can't. This is a video, so I can't. It's not an image, so I can't expand it and show it to you better. I can pull it up on Google and expand it, but that's not important. You can see it. It's there, and anybody who questions, just do a Google search for here. You can see there, L.A. County Sheriff Badge. Just do a Google search for L.A. County Sheriff Badge, and you can zoom in all you want. Those symbols are right there on those badges. So there's that.
This whole underground operation is called Dragnet, or is that's what exposing it is called, Dragnet?
It's Dragnet Brief is the title of her videos. It says brief number 4. It says Cindy K. Courier, and her channel is called Rise Together. In fact,
no, the Dragnet name itself, is that the investigation, or is that the underground operation?
There it is right there.
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. What's the question?
I can hear you.
I'm sorry, Ian. What's the question?
Is Dragnet the name of the operation, or is the name of the sting?
That would be the sting would be the Dragnet, because that means, going out and getting all the people involved. That's what a Dragnet is, like the TV show Dragnet from ages and ages ago.
Okay.
Okay, I would also like to play an SGT report, about a 4-minute clip, as soon as I find it and pull it up here. And I'm almost there. It's the Pizzagate. Hostel 2 isn't fiction. It's this one here.
When you own a business, you make a lot of small.
Sorry, let me get past the commercial.
Cash flow inside. For their crimes, the crimes of Pizzagate, Pedagate, and 9/11. But coming full circle here, a master's guide to the way of the warrior. We are at war, and we all need to learn how to be warriors. Can you tell people how to get your books?
Yeah, the book's available on Amazon and also on Lulu. Deal with those people. You just have to stick.
Okay, this is a 4-minute clip from the SGT report, and I will pull that up on the computer while the audio is playing, but just listen to this.
From them.
We have to engage them because they're so uninformed and they serve a dark force. And I've got some breaking news I want to share with you right here. All right, so who is Philip Raines? Philippe Raines. Let's go to Wikipedia. Philippe Raines is an American political consultant. He joined the Department of State as a senior advisor to Hillary Clinton when she became the U.S. Secretary of State.
Can you guys hear that
in January
okay?
2009. In
Yep.
2010, he was promoted to the position of Deputy Assistant Secretary of State for Strategic Communications. Raines is currently a managing director at Beacon Global Strategies, LLC, which he founded with partner Jeremy Bash and Andrew Shapiro. Why am I telling you guys that?
Okay, hang on. I want to get to this part of the video so that you can see what he's talking about here. It's at 26:35. 26. There we go. Right about there-ish. Okay. Philip Raines.
Because Hillary Clinton has quoted a tweet from Philippe Raines. And before I read that very important tweet to you, I want to read this from WikiLeaks. WikiLeaks says Trump's National Security Advisor Michael Flynn resigns after destabilization campaign by U.S. spies, Democrats, and the press. Okay, what did Hillary Clinton say? Here it comes. Philippe's got his own way of saying things, but he has a point about the real consequences.
Hang on just a second. I want to get this video to catch up to the audio. There it is. Here's Hillary Clinton's tweet. Philip's got his own way of saying things, but he has a point about the real consequences of fake news. Now, Philip Raines' tweet says this: Dear Mike Flynn and Mike Flynn Jr., what goes around comments around, and given your pizza obsession, ... Now, I'll let this go ahead and play out.
Fake news. Here's what Philippe tweeted. Dear Mike Flynn and Mike Flynn Jr., what goes around, comments around. And given your pizza obsession, ... He literally just cited the Pizzagate investigation, Stefan, in a tweet, which Hillary Clinton retweeted. And now, giving credit to some of those new YouTube channels out there, I'm going to cite, and I cited her in the past, Being Graceful, the Being Graceful YouTube channel. And let's just listen to a clip of this. This is all breaking news. She put this video together apparently this morning. Listen to this, Stefan.
Hey, internet friends. Mike Flynn resigned and Hillary Clinton tweeted about Pizzagate. Weird, isn't it? So yesterday, or rather this morning at 12:41 a.m., Hillary Clinton tweeted out or retweeted her former political advisor, Philippe Raines, his tweet about Mike Flynn, where he references Comet Ping Pong and Pizzagate. Dear Mike Flynn and Mike Flynn Jr., what goes around, comments around, and given your pizza obsession, ... He gives a Domino's pizza application, like an online application. So, Comet is clearly a reference to Comet, Ping Pong, Pizza, Pizzagate. Put them together, baby. We've got a reference right here.
All right. Do you find it fascinating that Hillary Clinton, who we know is up to her eyeballs in criminality through the Clinton Foundation in Haiti, she protected, and so did her husband, child trafficker Laura Silsby, who was trying to traffic out of Haiti 33 children, claiming they were orphans. They weren't. They had parents. That Hillary Clinton would have the nerve to retweet that, given the gravity of Pizzagate? Don't you find that absolutely stunning? And it really speaks to the psychopathy. It really absolutely speaks to these people being psychopaths involved in Pizzagate. I mean, you just can't make this stuff up.
No, I know. And people that don't have, maybe done the research in the background, but I'm sure your listeners get it. But average people wouldn't believe this stuff. But this is typical psychopathic behavior. First of all, what usually brings down these psychopaths is hubris, right? Like, they're all powerful. They have all the money in the world, and they start making mistakes. That was a big mistake, because this directly implicates Hillary Clinton. And for those out there that don't know this, but in my opinion, oh boy, should I say this? She is a sadistic lesbian pedophile.
Well, I've heard the claims that she is a witch. Like, if you want to talk about Illuminati witch, you want to talk about the occult, you want to talk about, child pedophilia, all of this stuff. She is a high-ranking witch in these circles, and I mean that literally, like an occultist witch.
The famous, undeniable interview of her laughing about how she got this child rapist off on a technicality. I mean, that tells me she's a psychopath, and that was already, 30 years ago, 40 years ago.
So there's that.
Oh yeah, she's a psychopath, all right, no question.
She's a high priestess in the, I think it's the OCO, one of those.
So, hey Wade, by the way, hello Wade, thanks for joining. So what do you guys think about that voice analysis? Was that John Podesta or not?
Well, as far as that voice analysis is concerned, I'm going to say, to me, it sounded like the same guy. But I have to wonder. I know that a number of years ago they came out and they were all rah rah sis boom ba with this software that could analyze any two recordings and determine specifically whether or not
Right.
they were the same person. And I'm wondering why that isn't being done.
Well,
Right.
it's going to have to be done
Yeah,
by an
also-
independent third party. The government sure as hell isn't going to do it.
Well, no, I understand that, but from my understanding, the software was available, maybe not ubiquitously, but fairly widely. And you would think somebody would have that software and say, "Hey, let me find out." But yeah,
voice recognition software is out there. So.
Well, I'm
Right.
holding in my hand a smartphone, and I can tell you right now that I'm holding in my hand the technology that would allow me to turn my voice into your voice if I wanted it to. I could get an app.
Yeah, because you can
And
alter the voice as well.
Well,
So.
I can download an app and
Yeah.
record your voice, and then I can speak into this phone, and it output would sound like you.
Yeah. I even watched
So-
a video where they used one of those sound altering technology where this guy with a deep voice sang into this box and it came out sounding like, you know, Britney Spears or whatever.
And we've all seen. I know that you guys, at least, and hopefully, I assume that most people, you know, watching or listening to us, have probably seen the videos where they have now the technology to, in real time, they can have a facial alteration software where they can alter the facial expression, the mouth movement, eye movement, head movement.
oh yeah,
They have a target, you know, in real time, like say for instance, Trump at the inauguration speech, right? Or you know, any talking head on the mainstream media, anybody, literally.
yeah.
And they can have some guy in a studio with a computer looking at his face, and when he goes like this and he looks up to the left, you know, so does Trump, you know, or Bush or whoever the target is.
Whoever the video persona is, yes.
Right. Yeah, in today's Photoshop age and all this stuff, I mean, it's hard to take these things, you know.
If I have that technology, then what do they have?
I agree, but my point is that we do have a recording of Podesta's voice that most people would say, yeah, that's him. And then we have that recording that we could say, well, maybe somebody before they delivered it altered it to sound like him.
Yeah.
But that's the only way. If we have the software that could compare the two voices, we could at least establish that the voice in that horrific piece of footage matches his, whether we can say it really was him or not.
Hi, Zach.
Zach made it.
So I don't know. I mean, combined with the technology, combined with our what is it called? Pre-assumed conclusion, or what's the term I'm looking for again? Where you're wanting to hear it sound the same in your mind.
Right, the
preconceived assumption.
Yeah.
Right. You know, that as well, right? Because we're looking for it to sound the same, aren't we?
Well, I went into it trying to hear differences, and I really didn't.
Well,
yeah.
So, you know, for whatever that's worth.
You know, you can certainly on your own time go over to Syndicate Courier's channel, at Rise Together channel, and you can check out that audio for yourself and play it over and over for yourself without the distortion of the you know, Hangout with my Bluetooth speaker and all that. You know, go listen to it for yourself. And I got to tell you, if I had to say yes or no, I would say yes, given everything else that we know. And given and by the way, I'm a musician and I've done lots of recording. I've got a really good ear for these things.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, it certainly sounds a hell of a lot like him.
Well, what got to me was more the way that he spoke. I mean, yes, the voice was very very much spot on, but it was the formation of the words that also was spot on, and I'm not sure that that would be something that would be so easily faked, if you know what I mean.
Right. Aaron, I'll show you that link and I'll share it on the chat. You can go and check it out.
What link?
For that audio or that Cindy K. Courier video.
Just go over to Rise Together channel on YouTube. The channel name is called Rise Together. I don't have the link handy. I'm in the process of pulling up another article right now. But anybody who's interested, just go over to Cindy K. Courier's channel. The channel name is called Rise Together, and it's Dragnet number 4. And if I remember correctly, it was 15 minutes into that video where she plays the audio clip. Did everybody go quiet? Are you all still there? I'm pulling up an article right now.
Oh, well, I was getting the link. I've got the video link now, and I'll pop it into our Hangout box.
Sure.
And then Ian can
pop it in the chat. There.
Pop it into the chat. There you go.
Okay, I'm going to do another screen share, and we're going to have a look at the Zero Hedge article on Mike Flynn. And for some reason, Zero Hedge is running really slow right now. They've got a lot of script. Mike Flynn resigns as National Security Advisor. As many had expected, multiple sources have now confirmed former General Mike Flynn has resigned from his role as President Trump's National Security Advisor. The White House has confirmed that Lieutenant General Joseph Keith Kellogg, Jr. has been appointed acting National Security Advisor. So everybody get used to that name, Joseph Keith Kellogg. President Donald J. Trump names Lieutenant General Joseph Keith Kellogg, Jr. as acting National Security Advisor, accepts resignation of General Michael Flynn. President Donald Trump has named blah, 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 blah. Again, General Kellogg is Director at Veteran United States Army, blah, 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 blah. Here it is. I think this is, here it is, the full text of General Flynn's resignation letter. Here it is. In the course of my duties as the incoming National Security Advisor, I held numerous phone calls with the foreign counterparts, ministers, and ambassadors. These calls were to facilitate a smooth transition and to begin to build the necessary relationships between the President, his advisors, and foreign leaders. Such calls are standard practice in any transition of this magnitude. Unfortunately, because of the fast pace of events, I inadvertently briefed the Vice President-elect and others with incomplete information regarding my phone calls with the Russian ambassador. I have sincerely apologized to the President and the Vice President, and they have accepted my apology. Throughout my over 33 years of honorable military service and my tenure at the National Security Advisor, I have always performed my duties with the utmost integrity and honesty to those I have served, and blah, 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 blah. I am tendering my resignation, honored to have served our nation and the American people in such a distinguished way, and I would like to remind everyone that it was 33 years. I am also extremely honored to have served President Trump, blah, 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 blah.
33 years? Really?
That's what it says right here.
33, huh?
On that press conference last night, Trump as well re-emphasized, because they said 30,000 emails or something, and then he says, no, it was 33,000 emails. And he emphasized that it was 33, which I thought was kind of amusing.
Let them run with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this sounds just like a big, he was trying to, so Flynn was trying to expose this, right? He put out he was going to expose something, and
or at least they say that's what was
for that
down.
Again,
Ian,
Ian.
Resignation. Really?
Yeah, like I said in the very beginning of the show, I think this is all a bunch of surface stuff. What's lurking below this is what's really interesting here.
The real truth, yeah. Yeah, it might be just the fact that this, you know, this whole Pizzagate and the whole underground pedophile scene is truly being exposed, you know. And they're just doing everything they can with the mainstream headlines to keep our attention away, for one, and to cover it up, right?
What I think they're doing is they're creating an atmosphere in which people hear pedophile and think, oh, that's fake news, and just don't pay any attention. I think that's what they're working on, so that they can do their stuff much more openly. And if anybody reports it, it's like, oh, yeah, that's fake news.
Well, I mean, they already had, you know, Megyn Kelly, the biggest shill on the Fox network, on there with what's his name? What was the guy's name? Elephantis, yeah. Where they basically, you know, laughed and giggled at the thought that he was doing anything wrong. Right?
Well, what gets to me is
that who questioned that, you know, fake news is just, it's all just fake news, right?
I don't know if you know anything about the bit that Titus Frost did, where apparently he is saying that some hacker broke into the two pizza joints there and did find child pornography after getting past some of their security. I don't know whether that's necessarily true, but Titus Frost is reporting that that is indeed the case. For whatever that's worth.
Well, one thing is for sure, that it's becoming to the point where we don't even know what is true and what isn't true anymore.
Unfortunately, you're correct.
It's going to require a lot more investigative efforts on the part of, you know, truthers and stuff like that. We got to
open source investigation.
You know, because not only that, they've got the online trolls who are pretending to be on our side and all this too, right?
Yep. They're starting out sounding all on our side, and then suddenly they'll turn in the direction that we're just going, wait a minute, what?
Yeah, they piss in their own punch bowl.
Yes, they do.
Piss in their Kool-Aid. Right?
I just want to say to the guy in the chat box, the big P99 said, check out Jimmy Savile. Just want to go ahead and let you know, big P99, that we are very familiar with Jimmy Savile around these parts. We know full well about Jimmy Savile.
Very well about Savile,
he's probably living on Epstein's Island or something.
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Yeah, we can only hope that he's actually dead. He's probably not dead, though. I mean,
probably not. No,
probably not.
They might have just
way out of the public's view.
Yeah, they probably just disappeared him, so that he could keep doing what he does a little more under the radar.
But I mean, these headlines about, you know, Jimmy Savile, for example, that headline came out, and within days it was totally scrubbed under the rug, swept under the rug by the BBC, all the mainstream. Right?
Yep.
They avoided that story like the plague.
So the big P is in the UK currently, so it must be late as hell for you right now. You see 6 hours. Wow, buddy, it's 2:30 in the morning for you, isn't it?
That's a long.
There's a delay,
night.
so it's going to take him a minute to reply. So
now, Mr. Rogers, he was a pedophile too, was he not?
Oh yes.
And I think Captain Kangaroo was a heavy-duty pedophile as well.
Oh yes.
Yeah. And I saw a video. Do you guys know the Mandela effect, right?
Yep.
I don't put much stock in it, but yeah, we're familiar.
Because There's a video saying that everybody out there was, you know, what would you commonly sing his song, right? It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, right?
Right.
But it's when you go back and watch the videos from him, it says it's a beautiful day in this neighborhood.
It was the neighborhood. And it was
No, he says this neighborhood.
Well,
when you watch the old video.
I know that's what it is now.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that from the timeline I'm from, it was the neighborhood.
Yeah, because this was one of these men.
Yep.
Oh, him.
I also know it was very.
He's putting on his sweater, taking off his sweater, right? He's saying it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and then they show all the other people out there, like rocks.
You're breaking up, hon.
Ian, you're sounding like you're underwater, buddy.
Yeah, you are.
Your bandwidth is terrible right now.
As opposed to this neighborhood, right?
Your bandwidth is terrible, Ian. You want to try to repeat one or two sentences back up?
How far did I break up?
just give us a couple of sentences. You were talking about beautiful day in the neighborhood, this neighborhood. We get the gist of what you were saying, but just want to let you know your audio was not working so good.
I just thought it was interesting how, we all sing in the it was this neighborhood, and that's why people are questioning, was it really the in the beginning?
Wow, you're doing it again.
Sorry, guys, I'm having internet problems, obviously.
Okay, well, I'm trying to pull up another article here just so we can talk shit about it. This is the Obama is supposedly commanding an army.
Surprised it's not 33,000.
Yeah, it says over 33,000 or over 30,000.
Oh, so yeah, it probably is.
This is let's see. All right, I'm gonna screen share again so you guys can see what I'm looking at. Yes. Looks like everybody's in on the action on this one here. Obama's commanding an army of 30,000. Obama's commanding an army of 30,000. Blah, blah, blah. Reddit. Investigation channel. Everyone's in on this one. Megyn Kelly. Twitter. Media Matters. So let's just grab one of these here and have a look-see. Investigation channel. Let's look. Sabotage. Obama commanding an army of 30,000 anti-Trump. All right, piss off. Come on. All right. Anti-Trump activists from new home 2 miles from the White House. The Kenyan nightmare just won't go away. From Michael Snyder. Throughout American history, most ex-presidents have chosen to move away from Washington, D.C. once their terms have ended. The vast majority of them have tried very hard not to interfere with their successors. Unfortunately, Barack Obama has opted for the exact opposite approach. The Post. Sabotage. Obama commanding an army of 30,000 activists from his home. Mr. Trump goes to Washington.
The thing I hate about the mainstream media is that in that part they say, oh, the Kenyan nightmare. Well, he was born in Indonesia, and it's been found out already that he has,
Well,
so they take the story that he's at face value without doing any research on that, and use it. You know what I mean?
Well, and I have issues with anybody whose writing style puts words and periods like that.
Well,
That just drives me nuts. I don't take anybody seriously that does that.
well, this apparently is originally says by the Silver Doctors. Now, they are, from what I understand, a fairly reputable site. I'm going to back up and look at somebody else's take on this, if I can get my computer to work. Let's see. Media Matters, Business Community. Let's look at Business Community.
Well, Wade 57, he says, if Obama is head of something, are they all guilty of treason? Well, they're guilty to us, but they're not guilty to the insiders that run the government.
Right, that scripted the whole play.
Yeah, right. The puppet masters. Yeah.
They're just performing their part in the play.
To us, they're definitely guilty of treason.
See, now this is interesting here, because basically the first paragraph is parroting the same thing. Former President Barack Obama is commanding an army of anti-Donald Trump protesters from his home near the White House is just one of the latest conspiracy theories circulating the current frustration that President Donald Trump is encountering. However, there is no credible evidence that Obama is overseeing an army of 30,000 anti-Trump activists. Probably George Soros, but anyway, says where did this theory originate? On February 13th, 2017, guess, here, ready? Infowars.com posted a story reporting a claim that
yeah, our dear controlled opposition shills.
Yeah. Infowars.com posted a story reporting claim that former Obama was marshaling an army of 30,000 foot soldiers while choosing to live near the White House in order to plot against Trump. Quote, throughout American history, most ex-presidents have chosen to move away from D.C., blah, 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 blah. Unfortunately, Barack Obama has opted for the exact opposite, blah, blah, blah. This is all the same stuff. His new home is less than 2 miles from the White House, and from his, quote, command center, he will be directing the activities of an army of more than 30,000 anti-Trump activists. In fact, as you will see below, this army has already been heavily involved in many of the protests and riots that have been popping up around the nation in recent days. Sabotage is a very strong word, but it's becoming apparent that Obama intends to do all he can to sabotage the Trump administration. Wait a minute. Let's be clear. Let's be clear. Obama is sipping Mai Tais with Lord, what's his name? The guy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Richard Branson.
Branson. That's right.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, I've been thinking a lot about like all this talk about the Trump sabotaging Trump, right? It could be engineered just by Trump administration themselves as a problem reaction solution scenario.
Well,
to give themselves more power in the end, you see?
Absolutely.
And even with the mainstream media as well, with the fake news narrative.
Okay.
They could have done that on purpose so that now he can discredit the mainstream media and get more power and crush for more freedom of speech. You know.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Right?
All right, check this out. This is saying the InfoWars story is based entirely on a story published 2 days earlier in the New York Post, which speculated that Obama is pulling the strings on an army that he operates through the nonprofit organization Organizing for Action. Quote,
oh, that's really credible.
Oh, dear.
He's doing it through a network of leftist nonprofits led by Organization for Action. Normally, you'd expect an organization set up to support a politician and his agenda to close up shop after the candidate leaves office, but not Obama. OFA, which is Organizing for Action. Rather, it's gearing up for battle, blah, blah, blah. But check this out. I just noticed this on the right-hand side. See this? Look at this. Look at this. Ben & Jerry's. Come on, computer. What are you doing? What happened? Where did it go? What the hell? Here it is. Look at this. Can you see this? Ben & Jerry's calls for impeachment of Donald Trump in fake ice cream flavor. Can you see that? Look at it says impeachment.
Oh dear. Oh dear. I love it. I love it. Impeachment.
That's cute.
Okay. All right. We had our laugh for the night.
But what do you think about what I was saying? What do you think? Like it could be all just a big Hegelian dialectic.
Yeah, it could be a big fat double bluff.
Virtually everything we are faced with is part of some plot to manipulate our thoughts and give us a false reality.
We all know that it's, people are pulling the strings, right? And we all know they're sold out to certain interests, right? At the top. They can argue with each other about every topic they want to at the bottom, but at the top it's all the same thing, right?
Yep.
So who's to say that the top isn't using these people as puppets, and
for sure.
And look at Trump himself. I mean, he's an actor. And when he stands up there for 77 minutes last night,
a significant number.
He was very entertaining. I mean, you could sit there and listen to him all day because he's very, he's witty and he's funny.
Yeah, it's like watching your favorite TV program.
A reality show. Yeah.
Yep.
All right, listen, you guys. Our pal Zach Hawkins has just joined us. He's a little bit late getting in here, but he just mentioned that his dad had triple bypass surgery today. He's resting well, and so everybody, let's send
healing to his father.
Yeah, everybody send some good thoughts his way, and
sending some love through the grid for you there, Zach.
Send some love Zach's way, and wish his dad well. He just went through a major surgery, so. Hope your dad's well, Zach, and thanks for joining us. Good to see you.
Say a prayer for your dad.
All right, you guys.
Yeah.
All right. So actually, the next item on my agenda tablet here is exactly what we were just talking about: the validity of these articles. That we know that the CIA is responsible for crafting articles and also placing people within mainstream media. We know full well that an awful lot of the shit that we wind up reading as articles, and it doesn't matter where it is, could be anywhere, Washington Post, New York Times, ABC, NBC, CNN. We know that a large percentage is CIA. So my question to you guys, and I'm pretty sure I already know the answer, but it's worth noting. Let's be real. How much of this shit can we really rely on?
Nothing. We can't rely on anything.
The thing is, what we have to do is...
Sorry.
What we have to do is
not... The six media companies, it's owned by six companies, right? The media.
True.
90% of the media or something.
This is what we have to do. We have to, instead of believe or disbelieve, give probabilities and run with the probabilities until we get further data, and then adjust as new data come along. That's I think the better approach than saying, geez, should I believe this or should I not? Say, well, I'll give it a 85% probability of being right. Or
that's what I mean.
Whatever.
It's getting harder now to analyze things because of the fake news, right? It really is.
Now there's start with the presumption it's fake.
Types who give you lots of truth to get you to like them and watch them every day and listen to them every day, and then they just poop in their own.
Yep, they do.
And it's really hard. You have to use really careful discernment now.
Yeah, we have to be really extra careful. Okay, I want to show you guys something that is directly related to this topic here. Again, I'm going to screen share, And if you guys have not been over to Robin's channel lately, check this out. I just want to show you this particular video here. This one here that says there is no free speech. Okay. I would urge everybody to go and watch this particular video right here. This is a mirror that Robin put up. It's not his video. He just mirrored an older video. Zionist Vic Al-Hadif targets alternative fact-based Holocaust views.
Right.
So basically what this is, I'll just give you the rundown, and I would urge everybody to go and watch this. This 20-minute video. I'm not going to play the video. The rundown here is this website, Love for Life. I think it's Keith Johnson is the reporter who is become friends with the guy who runs this website, Love for Life. This is a good website. He's got a lot of good information on false flags and all kinds of stuff around the world. But this guy who put up this website, Love for Life, he put up some information. He basically reposted some information from someone else. And forgive me, I don't have all the details on top of my head. But it had to do with the Holocaust. It had to do with the numbers, being revised and revised, like something like 12 times. These numbers have been dropped.
Yep.
So the deal is that this guy in Australia had called the owner of this website, Love for Life, and threatened to have his channel taken down, threatened to have his website taken down. And go over to How I See the World channel and watch this video and get the whole rundown. It's just really, really interesting. This is basically from mid-2015 when this happened. And the guy who is a reporter who is friends with the website owner, he actually called this, and it's a Jewish, God, I wish I could remember all these details. I'm sorry. There's just been so much going on this week. Oh, yeah. It's some Jewish outfit in Australia.
Okay.
This guy here, the face that you see, let me see if I can get to it here. It's almost like the ADL, it's the Anti-Defamation League. It's one of those sort of outfits. And he's based in Australia. He calls this guy on the phone and threatens to have his website taken down. And so this guy who's friends with the website owner calls this person who's basically responsible for making the threat, and questions him, who happens to also be the media liaison. So the guy is it's his job to stay on the phone and answer these questions and not act like too much of a douche. So he does. There's a really, really interesting phone interview that takes place during this video here. And it's a really, really good expose on what's going on with, freedom of speech and the Jewish community and the ADL. And anyway, it's a little bit off topic, but it's related to what we were talking about. It's off topic to the other subjects that I wanted to get to. And some of the other subjects I did want to get to was this Kim Jong-un assassination, among other things. TSA had 12 agents indicted for smuggling $100 million in cocaine. Go over to Truth Virus. I think that was the channel I saw this on. Or maybe it was Red Silver. I forget exactly. But anyway, there's plenty of articles on that subject. Let's see, while I was also looking at that, I also discovered that there was another article that mentioned that there was a drug catapult that was discovered.
Over the wall.
Yeah, attached to the wall.
Hey, yeah, that was kind of amusing, actually. That was Now they had, speaking of the Jewish thing there, the ADL thing, they had a guy that was at that press conference last night, and he was a Jewish guy. Now he's an Orthodox Jew, right? So I'm guessing Orthodox is, you know, completely the opposite of what Zionism would be, right? Am I right about that? They're God-fearing Christians, aren't they?
What?
Orthodox Jews. Would you know,
Well,
Aaron?
they're not God-fearing Christians. They're Jews.
Right.
But you know, Orthodox means that they, you know, keep kosher and you know, don't mix milk with beef and that sort of thing.
Okay.
And they, you know, they're fairly literal in their translation of the Bible, but I think that they are Torah based. I believe it's the Hasidics that are Talmudic, which are sort of Orthodox in a sense, but they're not what you'd normally call Orthodox, I don't think.
Right.
I think I got that right. You know, it's been a while since I've really looked into all of that.
Look, the easiest way for a lay person to understand orthodoxy is just in your mind, replace the word orthodoxy with the word very. So
what?
Very.
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 So when somebody says Orthodox Jew, just replace that with very. He's very Jewish. Do you know what I mean? It's just a simple way of understanding that these people are full-blown. Do you know what I mean?
Right, right.
So that's just a very easy layman's way of understanding. And by the way, this Kim Jong-un's, it turns out it's his half-brother. Woman arrested in the death of Kim Jong-un's half-brother. A woman has been arrested in connection with the death of Kim Jong-un's half-brother, Malaysian police said. She was detained Wednesday at Malaysia Kuala Lumpur Airport carrying a Vietnamese travel document. Earlier, South Korea's intelligence committee said 2 Asian women were suspected of killing Kim Jong-nam, who died soon after being attacked Monday at the same airport. Attacked, huh? I thought he was poisoned. Investigators are awaiting the results of an autopsy. Kim is believed to have been poisoned. So, okay, now we have the word attack and poison. So which one is it? You don't attack someone with poison.
Yeah, that's not.
That's just a buzzword. It's just a fucking buzzword.
There's holes in the story already. So.
It's just a buzzword. I mean, it's just to freak you out. Oh my God, he's attacked.
Yeah.
Okay, so he was poisoned, huh? What did they do? Feed it to him? How do 2 strangers walk up to somebody like this, half-brother of the president of North Korea, and say, hey, you want a sandwich? You know what I mean? How do you poison someone? How do you poison a stranger at the airport?
Here, have a drink.
Yeah.
How do you poison a stranger at the? And we're not talking about an innocuous nobody stranger where you can maybe drop something in their food, you know, when their head is turned. These are people with an entourage. These people don't travel alone. These people have entourages. They have some protection. They have friends. They don't travel alone.
No, they have an entourage.
So there's another huge hole in that right there. And if I can find it, I want to show you the picture of the woman that they have supposedly detained, because I think it's really interesting. She's wearing a shirt with LOL on it. And you know how they like to mock us.
Yep.
What's with all the American flags?
What's all this? I'm an American.
What's with all the gooks with American flags?
Yeah, everybody just carries an American flag around in their pocket to bring out.
Yeah.
No. No, this isn't organized. No, this is organic. This is natural.
Yeah, it's organic. It's totally organic.
Oh, yeah. just by chance.
Wait a minute.
Now, I've always been wondering about this North Korea, this dynasty over there, the Kim Jung everything, right? I don't know if they're truly against the New World Order or if they're just a piece of the just a.
I
And
think they've
just
got
in the
a
show,
part
I
to
don't
play.
know.
I think every single country on this planet has their part to play.
Hang on, check this out. This article says, but he never actually met Kim Jong-un due to North Korean practice of raising potential successors separately. So they've never met.
So he wasn't allowed to go to his birthday party?
Now listen, it goes on. After his departure from North Korea, the older Kim became known as an overweight and careless playboy who was willing to speak out about his family. Oh, so he was speaking out against the family. That's why he was freaking killed. Then they're going to blame some woman as a patsy.
Yeah.
Poor girl had nothing to do with it. She's going to spend the rest of her life in a North Korean prison.
All right.
Either that, or they've just made up. They've just made up a character and pinned it on the character,
Right.
and there really isn't anybody who really is there to be blamed.
Yeah. Now you'd have to see what you'd have to do is go and read a North Korean publication somehow, but I don't know if you can. Right. Their language, of course, and then see what they say in their news, and then you'd probably see some way different stories.
Different stories altogether, very likely.
All right, I might be a little bit confused. There's an awful lot of Kims in this article here.
Yeah, there's Kim Jong.
Unsubstantiated reports of how Kim was attacked have circulated. Okay, here we go. Unsubstantiated reports. Ding, ding, ding.
First word. Ding, ding, ding.
But Malaysian police are providing few details. Ding, ding, ding. Few details. The Malaysian Inspector General of Police said in a statement Tuesday, the deceased North Korean man was traveling with a passport bearing the name Kim Cole. Okay. Kim, who was in his mid-40s, had a reputation for traveling on fake passports. Doing so may have been tied to his fall from grace in his home country. Kim Jong-nam, this is the guy who was assassinated.
Right.
Was on the left here in these two pictures, was the half-brother of North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. Kim was the most public of all Kim Jong-two's sons, before half-brother Kim Jong-un took power. Again, I'm getting confused with the Kims already. It was reported that he lost favor with his father after he used a forged document to try to visit Tokyo Disneyland 2001. Hey, you just got assassinated. What are you going to do now? I'm going to Disneyland.
Yeah, really.
This sounds like a bullshit, like, I don't know.
Yeah, I think
They
they're.
want us to think they're all evil and everything too, so it's all just part of the psyop.
Kim Jong-nam was the son of Kim Jong-2, or Kim Jong the Second, and Sung Hai-rim, some young guy.
Some young dude.
One of the late ruler's favored mistresses. Kim Jong-un, the youngest son, was born to another mistress. Kim Jong-nam didn't believe his half-brother had the ability to lead North Korea properly. Okay, so I'm correct. He was the guy who was talking ill on the family. That's why he was killed.
That's why he was killed. That's right. Well, it could be more to it, but yeah.
But he never actually met Kim Jong-un. Okay, so I was correct. I jumped a little bit ahead in the article. I just want to make sure that I wasn't incorrectly speculating. It appears to be correct that it's the guy who, but he never actually met Kim Jong-un. He spoke against his father's military first policy. Blah, 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 blah. Okay.
Kim Jong Salmonella.
Careless playboy who was willing to speak out about his family. Oh, that's why he was freaking killed.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
And again, I just want to try to find the whole reason. I mean, I really just want to try to find that image that they were showing of the woman that they detained. She's wearing a T-shirt that says LOL. Now, could be a coincidence. It could be one of those things where they're mocking us. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it could be just a
I mean,
coincidence.
and it
All
could
right.
be that they.
All right, I want to move forward because, listen, we're already at the 9:05 mark, and I don't mean to interrupt you guys, but finish your sentence while I cue up this. I'm going to cue up
Well,
some
here,
music here.
let's take a 5 so Amy can.
Yeah, just finish what you were saying while I cue this up.
Well, see, now you've distracted me, and I don't remember what I was saying. Oh, it could be that they just took him off the stage and killed off his character. And he's off on Epstein's Island or someplace.
So, and he's in Antarctica, living in the city that's buried there.
Could be. Could be. Who knows? Anyway, I'm going to get another head start here, guys.
All right.
Okay, well, I'm going to play a little bit more of Zach's music. Our buddy Juxtapose, he's got some pretty good stuff here. And let's see, I haven't get my speaker turned on. And I'll have to open up a separate page. Am I still screen sharing, Ian, right now?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, well, we're going to take a 2.5 minute break here, and I am going to play something from Juxtapose here. This is called Exhaust. And we're back. Okay, so guys. So where are we with that? See, I'm going to jump over here. Zach Hawkins said we should have Zach and Jux and Eddie B on sometime. Just so you know, Zach, we have had Juxtapose on, and by the way, his name is also Zach.
We got a lot of Zachs going.
Kind of confusing here.
Yeah, we need to say Zach Juxt and Zach Hub or something.
Yeah, and by the way, this Sunday, for anyone listening, for anyone who hasn't heard the promo, this coming Sunday in 2 days, we will have Zachary Hubbard on our show on this coming Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern time. So
it'll be on Rufus's channel.
With that,
Rufus
Cat's channel.
Let's see. All right.
Spelled ROOF, as in roof of a house. Rufus.
Like Dylan Storm Roof.
Us cat. That's it.
Okay. With that, I would like to queue up here in just a second. Grindle 61 video.
Oh, great.
And again, it's going to take me a moment because I got to queue it up on 2 different devices.
Hey, didn't Dylan Storm Roof just get sentenced? Wasn't he the Charleston shooter?
Yeah. They went through a silly show.
Quote unquote.
Yep.
Sentence.
Super easy way to tell that your bed is awful.
Whatever happened to the what's his name, the Batman shooter, James Holmes? Whatever happened to him?
Who knows? I haven't heard anything about Holmes in a long while. I guess that script's run its course and gone off into the wild blue.
Yeah, I guess I should rephrase my question. What's the latest narrative on James Holmes?
Heard nothing.
Yeah, I got nothing on James Holmes. Okay, you guys. Am I screen sharing right now, or did I undo it? No? Is that a no?
Just your icon.
All right, hang on. Let me get past this commercial here. All right. This is Grindle 61. This is about a 5.5 minute video. And I just love the energy that this guy puts into his stuff. This is one of the most politically active people on YouTube. I love Grindle 61. He's literally he is an activist in the truest sense of the word. He goes to every one of his local community, city council meetings. He's a voice on those meetings. He makes his voice heard. He films everything that happens. And are you guys? Am I sharing right now? Can you see me?
Yes.
Just got to full screen it. That's all.
Yeah, okay. So, shock. Mexico presidential candidate Lopez Obrador campaigns in America, holds rally against Trump. Are you ready for this? All right. Listen to this.
Today is February 16, 2017. So about a month ago, I uploaded this video. A presidential candidate from Mexico will be campaigning in the U.S. to get votes from illegal aliens. The media, the media, is romanticizing this figure by referring to him as a populist, even though that term populist has carried a negative connotation. But he's against America, so now he's a populist. Well, his campaigning for illegal aliens in America to vote for him down in Mexico is currently underway. Wait until you see this one. Mexican presidential candidate holds anti-Trump rally in Los Angeles. Wow, are you serious? Is there anywhere else in the world where that would be allowed to happen. A presidential candidate going into a foreign country to hold a rally against that nation's head of state. That's how free America is, that crap like this is allowed to happen. I mean, could you imagine the scandal and the cries of racism if Trump went to Mexico and held a rally against President Nieto? It'd be the end of the world. But it's okay for someone to come here and do it to our president because he's a populist. Mexican presidential hopeful Andres Manuel López Obrador held a mass rally in Los Angeles on Sunday to criticize President Trump's plans to build a wall across the U.S.-Mexico border. Hold on a minute. This is a foreign national coming into our country and holding a protest. The U.S. Constitution is only for Americans. Foreign nationals do not have constitutional rights. So he is not allowed to come into our country and use our Constitution against us. He should be arrested. The populist, López Obrador, hoped to rally supporters against his country's ruling party. Well, wait a minute. Why are you coming to America to rally people against your president? Shouldn't you be down in Mexico rallying people against that president? What are you doing up here? Is it because you have more eligible voters here in America than you do in Mexico? Why are you pandering for votes in America? The Mexican politician went on to praise California as a refuge and blessing for immigrants and exclaimed, "Long live California," to the cheers of the crowd. We have an enemy behind the gates. We already know that there is an agenda to take California and make it part of Mexico. You don't think this guy's involved in that? The candidate added that Trump is stirring up Americans against Mexicans, according to a version of his speech published on his website. Donald Trump and his advisors have gained from stirring up members in certain sectors of U.S. society against immigrants, and particularly those of Mexican nationality. So, once again, the Mexicans, the illegal aliens, they're playing the race card because they're the racists. When they want to build a wall to segregate populations, or when the word foreigner is used to insult, denigrate, and discriminate against our fellow human beings, it goes against humanity. It goes against intelligence and against history. Wait a minute. You got cartels running around in your country, chopping off people's heads, murdering people en masse, over 100,000 slaughtered in 5 years, and you're going to lecture us about how we treat our fellow human beings? Why don't you go back to your country and fix your problems? Lopez also whipped up the crowd by insisting that he would spearhead a move in the United Nations to file human rights violations against the United States. Arrest this guy. He's a foreign, I just said it, foreign. He's a foreign national on our soil using our rights against us. He ended his speech by slamming Trump's campaign phrase, "Make America Great Again." And that's why Trump is good, because people like this are against him. Neither the United States nor the American continent come first. What comes first is to build here on this earth the kingdom of justice and universal brotherhood. Oh, give me a break. Let me tell you something. If this guy gets to rule over Mexico, it's going to be Mexico first. It's not going to be Mexico 5th or Mexico 8th or Mexico last. It'll be Mexico first, because that's the way it's supposed to be. If you live in America, you should want America first. Why would you want to get screwed over by everybody else? Once again, arrest this clown. He should not be allowed to come into our country and campaign and pander for votes from illegal aliens.
Yeah, so there's that.
Well, I'm going to have to say this. I love Grindle greatly, but I don't think he sees the script.
Well, I know where you're going with this, and I mostly agree with you, but he is right on all counts except for maybe one.
Well, I love his passion. You know, he does.
I do. I
good
agree.
on the ground work, like Aaron was mentioning.
I agree. No, like I said, I love him dearly. I think he does some great work. But on this particular thing, I'm pretty sure that this is to make people like him have the reaction that he's having.
All right.
You know?
To divide and conquer. Yeah.
Yes. And, you know, what really gets to me is the fact that, you know, we're dealing with a corporation, not a country. In both cases, Mexico is a corporation, the United States is a corporation.
So is Canada.
And they're all owned by the same people.
Yep. Well, yeah.
You know?
Same ilk, so to speak.
Well, no, when you get right down to it, the same people.
Let's be clear.
Yeah.
The only thing really in error that Grindle brought up is he said, this is why Trump is good, because so many people like this are against him.
Right. Yeah.
That's the only issue I have. Everything else about this Mexican presidential candidate here in America doing anything other than, you know, communicating with our administration on how governments are going to get along, that's the only reason he has to be here. He got no business up here creating rallies and campaigning up here. That's fucking bullshit.
Well,
yeah,
I agree.
They don't call it California for nothing.
I agree that if things were as they appear to be, you know, that we were told they are, I should say, then yeah, I would agree 100%. But I think that there is a lot. This is more of the wash.
And I do
like the deeper.
And I do like the phrase that he coined. You're right, Amy. I do like the phrase that he coined, and I hope I get it right. What did he say? Enemedia?
The enemedia, yeah.
Yes, the enemedia. That is good. That is good. I agree there too.
I like that. All right, so there's that.
See, well, that's what makes this so damn dynamic. You know, like it's so brilliant. Like, these people are so smart, you know, and they know exactly how to steer our emotions and our directives and everything, you know.
Yes, how to get us thinking about things the way they want us to think about.
The way they want us to see it, yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yep. Very much so.
Well, it's mass mind control, right? So.
Yep.
All right. I'm a little bit busy queuing up something else. Are you guys keeping an eye on the chat box?
Yeah, nobody's talking too much. Somebody's reciting the lyrics from a Kim Wilde song from 1981.
Okay. I want to queue up a Texas Shrugged video. This is 2 minutes and 47 seconds, but it's definitely well worth watching and listening to. So just give me.
Well, Zach, just to respond to your comment there about Zach Hubbard, we kind of just want to get to the bottom of things, right? Because these two have been kind of at each other's throats or whatever for a little while.
Well, look, a lot of people get down on Zach Hubbard. I have my own issues with gematria, but I've never called Zach a shill. I've never been one to do a lot name calling. Until I know someone for sure, I'm not into name calling. But anyway, a lot of mud has been slung on Zach Hubbard,
right?
And I think he does a lot of good work. I personally don't get into gematria. I really don't understand it. And of that I do understand, I don't give it much weight. I don't think it's a worthy cause. I think it's more of a cul-de-sac or a dead end. I don't think it's really helping to understand the world and the way it should be understood. I mean, I know that there's significance. I know that there's numerology. And that's why we're having Zach on. We're going to give him a chance to really answer our questions and explain it in a concise way, and not talk down to anybody, and not call people names. And cursing is okay. We don't mind being a little bit vulgar. What did I say to you the other night, Ian? It was profane. I don't mind a little profanity, but we're not vulgar. So. you know, cursing is okay, but we're not going to curse at each other. We're not going to call each other names. We're going to have a adult, respectful discourse with Zach Hubbard over the merits of gematria, and I see a lot of potential in this conversation as long as everyone can behave.
Yeah, I'm not going to throw the F-bomb in front of every sentence I say.
Yeah.
We'll try to keep the F-bombs to a minimum.
Yeah.
Okay, so once again, I want to do a screen share again, and I want to show you and play you a 2.5-minute Texas Shrugged video about WikiLeaks, because I think I agree completely, and we can talk about this. So give me just 2 more seconds here, and I'm just about ready. And it's only about a
good point. Jordan Range just said here. He says, "What good is the gematria if you always run the numbers after the fact?"
Well, make sure to show up, Jordan, because Zach is gonna be fielding a lot of questions, and that's true. Zach, look, Amy seems to agree. Zach will tell you that he has made some predictions. We're gonna let him define those predictions specifically, but let's be honest. A lot of people make, and mostly, by the way, we are talking about football. I mean, a lot of people make successful football predictions, and a lot of people get it wrong. Zach has gotten it wrong. Some people get it right just by guessing, you know, people who play sports, you know, whatever. We're just going to let Zach say in his own words, he's going to answer our questions, and it's going to be good. So, and we can come back to that. We still have a half an hour. We got 35 minutes, but this is only 2.5 minutes, and I want to change the subject a little bit because I had a lot to lay out tonight. This is 2.5 minutes. Listen to Texas Shrugged about WikiLeaks.
London's Ecuadorian embassy might be in need of some more security guards if Julian Assange's growing list of celebrity friends is...
I'm sorry. I don't know what I did wrong. I think, I've got the wrong video queued up here. Shit. It's not what I wanted. There we go. Sorry about this. Bear with me. It's this video. I don't know why it queued up the other one. Pretty sure I didn't touch that. There we go. All right, full screen. Start over.
Please stand by
Yeah.
while we're experiencing some technical difficulties.
Yeah, our lack of professionalism gets in the way on occasion. So here we go.
London's Ecuadorian embassy might be in need of some more security guards if Julian Assange's growing list of celebrity friends is anything to go by. Last night, Lady Gaga popped in to see the WikiLeaks founder for a whole 5 hours. The unlikely duo reportedly had dinner together, and in a bizarre twist, the idea to visit Assange may have come from fellow pop star MIA, who tweeted to Gaga, "If you're at Harrods today, come visit Assange at the Ecuador embassy across the street. I'm there. I'll bring tea and cake." So it looks like the Ecuadorian embassy, where Assange has taken refuge over fears he could be extradited to the US, could be the next best celebrity hangout. Great news for a man who's just launched a new book and needs to promote it. Being under house arrest clearly hasn't stopped him from mingling with the stars. Ecuador.
Lady Gaga popped in for 5 hours and had dinner with Julian Assange. Look, I want this to be a real organization, WikiLeaks. I want this little band of truth fighters out there fighting for you and me and fighting against these big bad governments, just looking out for the people and trying to expose truth and corruption. But come on, I just can't take it any longer. Now, this is not new news. I've been thinking about WikiLeaks a lot. I brought up this old story just to show people this is ridiculous, folks. If you receive Lady Gaga, let's say you're trying to be a legitimate organization exposing truth and corruption around the world. Even if you were to receive her, would you pose for a picture with Lady Gaga dressed in her best witch's outfit, and then you're in your white t-shirt, the black and white duality? It's just not possible, folks. This was the main reason I made this video. This MIA, the singer, I don't know who the fuck this is, but tweets to Lady Gaga, if you're at Harrods today shopping, looking for $1,000 leather pairs of pants, come visit Assange at the Ecuador Embassy. I'm there. Bring tea and cake, capital TEA, capital cake. What's this reminiscent of, folks? More Pizzagate type creepiness, if you know what I mean? It's like bring cheese and bring hot dogs and pizza and chickens, and look at the way it's written. Bring tea and cake. What the hell? Look, if you were a legitimate organization just out to take down bad guys, you wouldn't be surrounded by all this bullshit.
So there's that. What do you guys think about that?
I think well, I'm not even certain that the real Julian Assange is around. I think they've got a body double, perhaps.
Will the real Julian Assange please stand up?
Stand up.
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I mean, he could have been. I mean, seriously, guys, he could have been dead like a long time ago. Like,
okay,
you know, like even years ago, right? And they had to make up the story of him hiding out and blah blah blah.
Jordan Rains said, "Amy, I think the numbers present themselves naturally. It's how the universe unfolds." I would like to respond to Jordan, and I apologize, Jordan. There is a delay between the time you hear our voice and by the time your comment gets posted where I can see it to where I can respond. So apologies for the delay, and I know I'm interrupting the topic on Assange, but what you just said there, that the numbers present themselves naturally and that's the way the universe works, that reminded me exactly of what we discussed with Joseph Farrell when we were talking at the end of the show about data correlation experiments. And I think we were in overtime or near the very end of the show when he freaking blew my mind. I had an epiphany. And unfortunately, if you listen to it, you'll hear me have the epiphany, and I don't make very exactly clear. I didn't tie it all together in a very cohesive way. My mind was too blown and I let Farrell have his time. Anyway, we were discussing how he said that the media, this CERN, we were talking about CERN, the media, CERN, the scientists, what they're doing in a magnetic field, they're tinkering with the Earth's magnetic field. And I know I'm stumbling and rambling. This is a big thought, sorry. The way they tinker with Earth's magnetic field has an effect on human consciousness, and that they're doing data correlation experiments where they're testing this public and they're fucking with the magnetic field at the same time. They are also running psyops, and they're doing data correlation experiments to see how the average general public act, respond. They're monitoring social media, what we're talking about, what we're saying, and they're correlating that with experiments that they're doing with the magnetic field, along with experiments that they're also doing in the world of psyops, including media and all forms of media.
Well, which would ultimately change our whole vibrational state, right?
Jesus,
which would ultimately change the way our body functions and change the way neurons fire and everything else. Right?
Yep.
Make us more docile even, you know, make us more passive even. Who knows?
Jordan, I'm dazzled by the numbers that Zachary Hubbard is able to uncover in many cases. And I'm also baffled in a bad way at some of the numbers that he chooses to present. So I think he sometimes cherry picks. And I also have an issue with, and we'll discuss this with him on Sunday, and we're going to do it just like we are now. We're not going to be mudslinging. I'm going to ask him and he can answer. As long as nobody's name calling, we're good. We're going to be respectful.
Eric.
And I don't know why I'm worried so much. This is going to be fine. This is really not about having this is not about creating drama.
No, it's more of a learning experience, if anything.
But sometimes he uses multiple forms of gematria to define one event or tell one story.
But that's what he needs to explain to us.
And sometimes, because he talks so fast, and sometimes he doesn't. Sometimes he'll say, "and this word equals that," and then he'll move forward without explaining which system he's using. And the truth is, he is using multiple systems, and it's just hard. And how I don't know. It blows my mind, and I'll talk to him about that. But that's where I am. I've rambled enough. You guys.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to Sunday.
I mean, the basic of the gematria is just the Pythagorean model, right? Where it's just up to 9, and then it starts at 1 again, right?
It's going to be awesome, I think. Sunday is going to be Zach Hubbard's chance to speak to people who really want to get it, but just don't. And that's
Right.
it's going to be his chance to bring everybody up to speed. People who are, look, we're not stupid people. We're not stupid people around here. And I'm not an idiot, but for some reason, I just don't fucking get gematria. I just don't get it. I haven't figured out in my head how I can use it in any effective way, and that's why I have a problem with it. And I should write that down. I think that's the crux of it. I haven't figured out how to use it in an effective way. And I've looked at it, and I've watched his videos over and over, and and I'm not stupid, and that's the point. I haven't figured out how to use gematria in any effective way.
You know, it's kind of interesting, but, you know, the name that I have chosen for me, I chose it long before I was even, you know, I mean, I'd heard some vague things through my life about it, but never really looked into it and didn't really know anything about gematria. And I discovered that my name, Amaterasu Solar, comes out to 47. And it turns out that 47 is like Euclid's 47th problem, which deals with foundations, which I find rather amusing to discover since I'm trying to build a foundation for society to function without promoting psychopaths to power. I just found that kind of intriguing that it worked out that way. And my first name, or the first name of the name corporation I was given at birth, it turns out when I put actually my first and middle names together back in high school, that equals 33, which that kind of blew my mind too.
Well, I haven't ran any gematria around things in my life. And it would be interesting. Look, Zach, he can do that shit so fast. I'm gonna put him to the test. I'm gonna create an imaginary scenario, or maybe I'll do both, or I will give him a real scenario that happened here. In fact, I can even use a proven example, that video I have of the event that happened here in Snellville that didn't make the local news. Remember that? You know what I mean? I'll give him the details of that, of course.
Right.
Now, one of the websites that Zach uses for his gematria calculations is called Riding the Beast.
Well, he's actually switched over to the Gematrinator these days because that was put together by a guy, Derek, who got into Zach's work, was initially a skeptic, and the more he watched, the more he went, oh, wow. So he wrote a program initially in Excel, but now he's got a website, and I popped it into our little chat thing. And if you want to pop that into the group chat, you know, www.gematrinator.com, and I have the calculator in that link already set to go. And right now, there's about a dozen different ways of playing with the numbers that you can select, and I find it really awesome.
That's the problem, Amy, that there's many ways that you can play with the numbers to select, and that makes it too easy to cherry pick.
Well, I disagree with you on that.
That's not.
I'll tell you why I disagree with that. Because of what lines up and how many times the same numbers are found. You would think.
Now that's the part that's intriguing as fuck.
And here's the thing.
I mean, seriously intriguing. I get that part.
Zach doesn't use all of these particular numbers. He might mention that, gee, in that, system that he doesn't use particularly, it is interesting that you find this number there. But mainly he uses the reverse, the reduced, the ordinal, and he's just recently discovered that if he had the reverse reduced method going during the election, he would have pegged Trump in a heartbeat. Instead of pushing Hillary for the most part, although
that's another thing. This reduced whatever version. I know what you're talking about.
Well, here I'm going to screen share right now.
I listened. Look, I don't want to. We only got 20 minutes left. I want to jump back to Julian Assange. We're going to have 3 hours on Sunday to go over all this stuff that we're talking about now.
So I typed in Freemason on this website right here, and it was 42 reduced.
Yeah, well, Zach Hubbard said Freemason equals 33. Or
no,
Mason equals 33 or something.
Yeah, Masonry or something maybe.
Yeah, I think it's Masonry.
But I mean,
yes.
Amy, a minute ago you said
Masonry.
You added up your name to 47. What system were you using? Pythagorean, English gematria, Jewish gematria, old gematria, new gematria, upside down gematria, reverse gematria.
Aaron, you're 22. Oh.
Hang on. I forget.
And by the way, where the hell did this reverse gematria come from? This is a new system he's using all of a sudden.
Yeah, I'm 50 in Jewish, 60 in English. Means absolutely nothing.
Okay, in reduced, I get 47. In reversed reduced, I get 97. In ordinal, I get 164. Those are he's, like I said, he just found reversed reduced and reverse ordinal.
Right. Well, anyway, another major question that I'm going to put to Zach tomorrow is who the hell decided that 33 means this, or 42 means that, and 47 means this? The
Masons.
What?
The Masons.
The Masons.
The Masons.
Yeah, they're the ones that control all the codes and the numbers and all that. They were the architects of all this.
Yes.
Well, not the Masons.
Where's the evidence and proof of this?
The tradition of it was carried through the Masons.
Where's the evidence and proof that the Masons actually had anything to do with assigning the specific meanings to whatever numbers?
No. When it was brought through them from the ancient knowledge that they still hide from us.
Yes.
Through the Masons, they kept the knowledge, right?
Right. They are the keepers of knowledge.
The Knights Templar, right? They went around and destroyed everything, all the libraries, everything.
P. Marie said COG and Zach up together, comparing their interpretations of the numbers. I think that would be a good idea. That's not what we're doing. We're actually going to be having the conscientious objector and Zach Hubbard on Sunday. And once again, for anyone who's just tuned in, that will be on my channel at 12 o'clock noon on this Sunday. We're going to have Zach Hubbard and conscientious objector, and we will debate and discuss the merits of gematria versus and also numerology. So, and also, Dominic also wanted to cover the whole PK thing, and I would like to do that too. In fact, we might do that first, just so we can establish some rapport before we start going at each other's throats. You know what I mean?
That might work. That might work.
So maybe we should do that first. But anyway, that's what we're doing Sunday for anyone who just tuning in, checking us out. We're having Zach Hubbard on Sunday at noon Eastern time. So
look at that.
I think it would be interesting because COG is good at gematria too. It would be interesting to get Citizen of Gotham in here. And we've had Citizen of Gotham, and it would be cool to have those two on the same show, hashing out their interpretations.
33.
But, I don't doubt the merits of numerology. I know for sure that's a real thing. And, to Zach Hubbard and those who are into gematria, to your credit, and I'll bring this up on the show as well, it's pretty well known that the Bible is heavily coded in numerical codes. The Jewish Bible, the original Hebrew Bible, even the King James Bible, they are coded. Their languages, the words, the letters, they're coded and by the numbers. And there's something wacky and wild going on. And so that's why we're having Zach on to help us clear things up.
Yeah, like I said, I'm really looking forward.
I really know there's something to it, man. I just can't get my freaking head around it. So this has a lot of potential on Sunday.
Yes, I think so.
So Alex Jones equals 33 in gematria.
Yeah, well, what does Bill Hicks equal? Because they're supposed to be the same according to some people.
Hey, let's see. My computer
Anyway, before we get too far off, let's get back to WikiLeaks. The Texas Shrugged clip that I played. Texas Shrug is suggesting, that if you're seriously wanting to be for the little guy, and you're an organization who's dedicated to bringing truth to light, the points that he made, if you remember, really good stuff, man. It's a short video, and I can even jump halfway through and play it again. But I think he makes some good points. I mean, Lady Gaga going to hang. I mean, come on, right?
Yeah.
MIA tweeting Lady Gaga, "Hey, if you're in the neighborhood, come hang out with us. We're over hanging out with Julian Assange." Hey, look, and then you know what? I left a comment on Texas Shrugged channel on that video, and what I said was, given Lady Gaga's association with Abramovich, remember?
Yeah.
What was her name? Maria or something? Marina Abramovich, right? Spirit cooking bitch.
Yep.
Right. Yeah.
And Lady Gaga's association with this creepy cunt.
Yeah,
sorry,
she was crazy.
I'm sorry. Bad word.
Ouch. Ouch was not the word.
She was totally present. Oh, I love her work. It's so artistic.
Okay, so Texas Shrug made a point. He said, this guy, MIA, whoever the hell he is, he said, "I'm bringing tea and cake." And he hinted at the Pizzagate coded language.
Probably. Yeah, that's obviously.
Some kind of code. Maybe they've decided, well, we got to stop with the pizza code. We better go with tea and cake.
Well, no matter what they're referring to, you can tell it's a code word.
Yes, yes.
So Texas Shrug makes several poignant points, tying it all together, really. All of it. Lady Gaga hanging out with Julian Assange, coded words, tea and cake. MIA is hanging out with Julian Assange. Julian Assange is supposed to be WikiLeaks, their organization is supposed to be, for the little guy. They're not for the little guy.
No.
If Julian Assange was worth his fucking weight in salt, he wouldn't spend a goddamn minute with Lady Gaga.
No. Right.
Yeah, not if he was genuine.
Nope.
So back to the question I put to Jim Fetzer a couple of months ago. How the fuck do we know that this Pizzagate FBI code stuff, because from what I looked at, and I researched it and I looked for it, and the only thing I found was that it actually came from WikiLeaks themselves on a 2007 or 2010 data dump.
Yeah.
That it came from. It came from them. We haven't found it on the FBI website. We looked for it on the show. True. In an open source. We had several people looking.
4 of us were all looking for it.
That's right.
Yep. I couldn't find it.
We tried. Nobody found it.
Yeah.
So
that whole narrative has got a hole in it to begin with.
Well, I will say this much about that narrative. Apparently, there is enough evidence out on 4chan that the code words are correct.
I'm up in the damn air. I don't know what to think, because we looked and we couldn't find it. And I'm really irritated about this, because this is an important issue. This is one of my hot button issues: child pedophilia, child abuse. It's a lot of people's hot button issue.
Jordan Rain said in the chat, Pamela Anderson was also at the Abramovich spirit cooking thing.
Oh, really? Because because Pamela Anderson is also reported to have been hanging out with Julian Assange at some point. Is known to have hung out with Julian Assange. Okay. Thank you, Jordan. That is why we do this fucking show. It is for people like you, because I already knew Pam Anderson hung out with Julian Assange. I didn't know Pam Anderson had an association with Abramovich. Thank you. So now we've got. So now we have two Abramovich cronies hanging out with Julian Assange. Guess what, folks? I just lost all credibility. Excuse me. They lost all credibility with me. WikiLeaks with me from now on, done.
Tons of salt. Tons of salt. Well,
yeah, well, Pizzagate, Jordan, Pizzagate in itself is a real thing out there, except this story could be just a fake story so that they can, what do you call it, pigeonhole people?
Yes.
Say what you were going to say a minute ago, Amy, because I got something to say quick.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, you were cut off a minute ago. So go.
Well, I don't remember what it was again.
Okay. As far as pigeonholing and Pizzagate, I got problems with Pizzagate because do you remember seeing the images of the two Podesta brothers, right, side by side with the two sketch drawings? They're supposed to.
Oh yeah, the Madeleine McCann case. Yes.
Right. I have a problem with those, and the problem I have is, actually, I've got a couple of problems, and I can't remember all of them. I had some other issues previously, and right now my brain is in a flutter. But one of the problems I have is that they are too fucking close.
Yes, I agree. I saw that and went, no way.
Too close.
That's too close.
Too close.
Yep.
This is someone setting up the Podestas.
Either that or we're supposed to think they're set up. Or
that's right.
That they're
supposed to fall for the narrative.
Yes.
For the script.
Oh, I remember what I was going to say about WikiLeaks. The first, quote, leaks, unquote, that they put out there, every single one of them or things that I knew about, I had seen evidence for, it was out in the open already. So they leaked nothing. And that was, I haven't trusted them from day one.
Well, they definitely didn't give us anything we didn't know already, right? So. Yeah,
I just looked at those leaks and went, those aren't leaks. That's just bringing back up old stuff I saw before. What in the world?
Yeah.
So I knew
a lot of us weren't shocked.
Well, it was less than just being not shocked. It's like we already knew.
But listen, hang on. Let's go back to what Ole Demigard told us.
Mm-hmm.
One of the main takeaways from that interview that I have for me personally is one thing that he said to us, and that is, what's the result?
Yep.
What is the end result? It doesn't matter who did it or why they did it. What is the result? That's one thing that he stays focused on. What's the result?
Right.
Yep.
So what's the result of Pizzagate? A lot of people who were not aware did become aware. A lot of people were flushed out of the woodwork. There are a lot of things that happened with Pizzagate from many perspectives. If you were the NSA, for instance, and you wanted to expand your truther database, and you wanted to flush people out of the woodwork, that would do it. It certainly did do it. It's everybody's hot button.
Yep.
Pizzagate flushed a lot of people out of the woodwork, as in terms of truthers. Who's activist? Who's potentially an activist?
Right.
Who gets pissed off at this and who gets pissed off at that?
Yep.
So, it was certainly a data mining experiment, and they got a lot out of us.
Oh, no doubts.
And what's the result? Anything happening? any prosecutions, any real investigations? No, it's dead in the water.
Yep, it's
Yeah.
certainly dead.
So
But
what's the result?
I do kind of think, they have this pedophilia ring that is being exposed, so they needed a fake story to put out to discredit that.
That's
To
right.
discredit-
That's right. What's the result? What's the result? They send in one of their cronies to shoot up the floor tiles, and then they
That's right.
discredit the whole movement that you and I are trying to do.
That's right. Anybody who even questions it will be deemed.
So that's another result, isn't it?
Yep.
Yeah.
Very true.
Exactly. So it's so many angles to this. It's really deep.
And
Gotta do a whole show on it.
another thing that they've done is they've set forth some what's the word I'm looking for? Censorship on social media sites. That's another
right.
thing that they've accomplished with the fake news. Oh, we know better what the real news is. You
That's
don't
right.
have to worry. We'll tell you.
That's right. That's right.
Yep.
And would you like to know another result? And I wish I could remember where I heard this originally, but open Satanism, or Satanism in the open, is one of the goals. It's part of the agenda.
Yes, it is.
Open, unabashed
Yep.
Satanism everywhere. And if you look around, that's what we have.
To a great extent, yes. I mean, not.
It's everywhere. It's in cartoons. It's in
Yes.
commercials. It's in the Super Bowl. It's in the
Yes.
Paralympics.
Yes. Very true.
There is nowhere it's not. Hey,
Very true.
you know those little flags? They sort of have a leaf shape. It's a pole you stick in the ground. It's bent at the top, and they attach a like a nylon, sort of a leaf-shaped nylon, and they print things on them, and it's sort of for advertising. And businesses will stick them in the grass out front on the street. You know what I'm talking about? Have you seen those?
Envision it. I don't know that. If I have,
No.
I have never noticed them.
I wonder if I should. Well, we're very close to the end. Take me a minute to find them. Maybe I'll try.
Well, I think
So
I
any
got an
final thoughts
idea.
on tonight's topics?
Anyway, you can imagine what I just described, right? A pole on the ground.
Yes.
It's about 4 or 5 feet tall, 6 feet tall, and it's got a bend on the top of it, and then you attach a very leaf. It looks like a leaf. It's just a piece of nylon, attaches at the top and attaches midway down the pole, and they're printed and colored, and they're advertising is what they are.
Right.
And they flap in the breeze, and they're simple to install and they're cheap. Anyway, there was a business near my house a couple of years ago, and they had those things stuck in the ground, and they had 3 of them, as a matter of fact. And I think it was a cell company. And the symbol was a when you sign on to the Google Hangout, you get that green. It's like a teardrop or a comma and an upside down comma.
It looks like a quotation mark. Yeah.
Yeah, a single quotation mark.
Yes.
Right? The circle that swoops up to a point. Basically, it's a 6. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
It could be. Yep.
Okay. Real quick, I want to do a screen share because I found them while I was talking to you. These things right here. Can you see that?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Got it.
So you ever see those things sticking outside of a business just as a temporary short-term promotion?
Well, I've never seen them, but I
Okay. Well, this cellular company near my house had 3 of them, and each one had that symbol. It was a single quotation, upside down quotation mark. You know what I mean? In the shape of a 6.
666.
It was just another example. And, it may not even have been on purpose. It could have been one of those subconscious things like Jordan Raines mentioned earlier, that it's the way the universe works. It's part of our consciousness now. You know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah, everything.
And what Joseph Farrell was saying, that these data correlation experiments, that they have figured out ways of tinkering with mass consciousness.
Oh, I don't doubt.
So, hey, thanks everybody for being here tonight in the chat. P. Marie, Zach Hawkins, welcome Wade57. Haven't seen you before. Thanks for coming. The big P99. Thank you again. Juxtapose. Text 10261. Bobby Simpson. I think he's gone, but thanks for coming by, everybody.
And Silver Pill.
If I left you out, I'm sorry.
Well, he came in right at the beginning and then had to leave.
Yeah.
So remember to join Aaron's channel Sunday at 12 o'clock Eastern time, where we're going to have Zachary Hubbard and the conscientious objector. That should be an interesting little chat.
Yeah.
At least.
Sunday is going to be very interesting, I think. It's going to be a good learning experience for a lot of people, but mostly for me.
So, Aaron, if you're ready to cue up the outro.
I'm ready when you are. Here we go. Thanks, everybody. Love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.
And we'll see you Sunday.
Bye.
Thank you.